Get the skin of your dream for a long time but can't get it in any way? On our website you have a unique opportunity to get your favorite knife. Users on our site can hand out skins themselves, and participants need to fulfill some simple conditions. For example, watch a video or buy a case on our website. After that, you automatically become a member of the distribution. Go to the user giveaways tab and do what you like. Hellcase.
Watch the matches with bo3.gg, the official stats partner of CCT. Check out AI-powered predictions in live matches. Get access to live scoreboards packed with in-depth weapons and grenade statistics. Check out round maps in the match results. Extend your game vision with bo3.gg.
Yo, what are you doing?
Exhibit.
What do you think? I'm a paperclip? It's Mr. X to the Z. You need to quit browsing like a lame and get Opera GX. Because with GX mods, you can pimp your motherfucking browser. All you gotta do is click here, select the mod, and boom! New look, new sounds, new everything. It's not easy being a legend. Oh, not again. Change the mod now. Download Opera GX.
The champion of champions.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to another episode of the CCT podcast.
We've got a ton to talk about, man. There's just so much action.
It feels like it's never ending.
Hey guys, we have another interview for you today. Very special guest, Speedy.
First, the funny thing, they also call me Grandpa in my team because I'm so old.
What are your general thoughts on what might come for the next couple of months of CS2?
So, I mean, we'll talk about the elephant in the room, and that is G2. You know, it's a big event, but this is the biggest team I believe we've ever had at the CCT Online Finals, and a big roster change coming into this one.
Yeah, it feels like a massive opportunity, I suppose, for this team to just really show what they have, hit the ground running, right? We've got Nectar coming in for JKS, and JKS has a lot of support from the community, but unfortunately I think that when it came to T-side play in particular, he was kind of lacking, and they need a bit more firepower. The other, you talk about elephants in the room, the other elephant in the room is the fact that Huxley has been difficult statistically, let's say, right? They seem pretty sold on what he's able to provide from a brain perspective, but when it comes to the aim perspective, there's a lot less there for him. So they needed somebody else to join the pack, I suppose. And Nexa traditionally is a much more aggressive player than I think JKS would have been comfortable being. And obviously someone that Nico and Hunter in particular are very, 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 very familiar with. So I do like the pickup. I think it's good in terms of the energy. He didn't really get too much done on OG, to be honest, right? But that team has really struggled with stability. I think he maybe came into the project and they were like, yeah, we'll let you build things up. And he was like, okay, I want to pluck a few players here, there, and everywhere. And it just quite didn't go well enough for OG over there. So I do like it, and I hope that he can play well here. And I think it'll also be a bit fresh from him, obviously less in-game leading pressure. Fluxo on the other side of things, though, a lot of recognizable names here from the Brazilian scene. Of course, Lucazi, VSM, Zevi have probably all been heard of because they've made it through to sort of your pro leagues and things like that on assorted different teams. This is obviously a very different looking Fluxo than a few months ago as well. There has been, as always, another reshuffle in the South American Counter-Strike scene, so we're interested to see what they're going to be capable of. Unfortunately, they hit G2. Somebody had to. So it is going to be tough for them, I think, because again, they also, I think, are betting in a few new additions here. Not quite on the same sort of timescale, but Che's only been in for a month. PKL and Zevi have only been in for sort of 3 or 4 months as well. So still a relatively young team here, Fluxo.
Yeah, I mean, talk about trial by fire. I mean, you're making your debut in the CCT Online Finals. The Brazilians have been very well represented. In fact, out of, you know, the last 2 events, we've seen 2 Brazilian teams actually qualify. MIBR was one of them, and the other one has actually
paiN,
escaped me. I believe it was paiN, actually. You're right. So many Brazilian teams. The debut for Fluxo, but Che has actually played in this event before. He played in the first one, the CCT Online Finals 1. He was taking part with Sharks. I believe they finished between 9th and 12th position. So hoping to maybe do a little bit better with his new team. But you know, yeah, it's going to be so difficult. Your luck, you see, it hasn't gone your way. You know, you think maybe your luck has run out drawing this, maybe a lower bracket staring you directly in the face after game 1, but you never know. I mean, new team, you could catch them sleeping a little bit. Zevi could be of very good importance though.
Yeah, absolutely right. We look at these individuals here, and Zevi was someone that we were kind of looking at. We were like, are his stats going to match up? Now, obviously, they're not quite on Monacy levels at the moment. To be fair, there's not really anyone on this server who is close to Monacy. Even your Nico in there, even your Hunter, maybe you'd expect them to be a bit closer. Those 2 guys have actually been struggling a little bit recently, I would say. Monacy, meanwhile, switch over to CS2, looks pretty comfortable, which has been difficult for some AWPers. But Zevi on the other side of things, I think, yeah, could really give it a good try here to answer back. It's not going to be easy, maybe in a straight-up 1v1. But again, saying that, in the CS2 at the moment, the AWP duels and things have been a bit rarer. I think we're seeing a lot more, if the AWP even does come out for some teams, we're seeing a lot more sort of turret styles, you know, hold the back of a bomb site and try and play it safe, really. We do have the veto here, though. This is where I think things might get a bit interesting, because Fluxo's map pool is really not that bad. They've got some pretty good maps domestically.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, and straight away, that's, you know, one that gets me excited. Just that nuke pick from Fluxo. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do on this map. They've been so dominant, as you said, domestically on this, and showing no fear picking it into it versus G2. G2 are going to opt for the Inferno, and then we've got Ancient as a decider. So nothing really too surprising there. We could see actually G2 were saying that they just wanted to get rid of Vertigo straight away. recently they've been actually opting to get rid of Overpass, but it didn't really matter in terms of the end of it. Any maps there really that are catching you by surprise, or is this a pretty straightforward one?
No, yeah, there's nothing too surprising, I suppose. The big thing is obviously this Inferno comes out as a tiny bit of a punish, not really one that Fluxo play very much, but it is one that, you know, they play if they have to. It seems like it's not super popular over in the South American scene at the moment, so I think that's more it, rather than it being like a permaban. It is the nuke, like you say, that could get a little spicy. I think starting off on the T side over there, though, is the thing, right? That's where it's going to be a bit tough. It is a map that you're confident on, but, like, yeah, T side against G2, I think, is going to be a real challenge, to be honest. There'll be a lot of strategy coming in from the G2 side that Fluxo probably just won't be very familiar with, right? And these types of tournaments, unfortunately, like, you can do a little bit of prep, but with the way that they fit in the online cycle and whatnot, you really just have to believe in your own games. That sort of anti-stratting, counter-stratting type thing maybe doesn't get done as in depth as a LAN that you know that's coming up, that you can, you know, prep for pretty more hardcore. This is something that obviously they're going to focus massively on, but it fits into the schedule alongside a lot of other online tournaments. So I think it's going to be difficult to really know the G2 game plan, as it were, on nuke. So yeah, I do worry a little bit for that nuke, to be honest, right? The stats may well mislead us. There's also not a single game in there for Fluxo against a European team. So like we're saying, it's good domestically, for sure. That is one thing. Fantastic, right? Brazilian scene, South American scene, definitely not an easy one or anything like that, but it's going to be a pretty big step from there to now a G2 game, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole other ball game, isn't it? It's a whole other ball game when you kind of step into the Thunderdome of what is EU Counter-Strike, especially EU online Counter-Strike. A lot of teams can't really make the jump as well. But with that being said, you know, I already mentioned it before. The Brazilian team so far in the CCT online finals, they've caused a few upsets. They've definitely caused a few headaches and some heartbreak as well, as two teams qualifying towards that LAN finals. So, you know, I'm quietly hopeful, which is different for me, because usually when it's me and Ted, usually I'm the pessimist, because he's, you know, just so full of life. But I'm quietly hopeful that we can see a good showing. I'm not expecting them to blow G2 out of the water here or anything, but you know, I think they will make a good account of themselves. But that's a very, very fair point that you make about nuke. You know, it could really just be over before we even see a CT side, as we see so many times when you pick, you know, a map like nuke or a map like Overpass. Sometimes you can just get punished and not play out your game plan at all.
Yeah, it can be a real difficult time, to be honest. But one of the things that, you know, we've always loved about the Brazilian scene is the fact that they are able to bring this energy and they are able to really play well from behind. So I think it should be a very, very interesting matchup here, and as to whether they can just tap into that sort of passion. I think is ultimately like the cliche word that gets thrown around with the Brazilian scene. But it is always something. You see it on the server. We saw it with paiN in the last online finals just a couple of weeks ago, and they played some brilliant Counter-Strike, and we didn't expect that from them, you know? So really, really impressive stuff, I think, comes out from the Brazilian scene, like you're saying, and they can never be underestimated. Hopefully G2 don't just come in thinking, all right, this should be an easy one, you know, all the odds are in our favor, etc., etc. If they even drop a map here, I think we raise some question marks, to be honest with you. We are as well, just to kind of update people, there's a little bit of a tech issue going on the server. We want to get into the action just as much as you do, so we're just having to natter on a little bit while that gets sorted ultimately. But that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do, is because at the end of the day, we are good at talking, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're paid the big bucks, I suppose, because we can fill on demand. But yeah, no, a little bit of a tech issue. We hate to see that. Hopefully it doesn't persist throughout the morning, slowing down the action, of course. You know, it's not ideal for everybody. Don't worry, it's not just uncomfortable for you viewers at home. It's everybody involved. It's an interesting point that you make about, you know, not dropping a map throughout or here. Did you say throughout the event, or, you know, do you think they can get away with, you know, dropping one or two? But I mean, I said it to you before we even went live. You know, this has to be a statement here from G2. I mean, they're a clear favorite going into this. I think anything less than them taking the victory and a spot at the LAN finals is going to be a disappointment. Of course, it is a new team. Sometimes it takes a little while to gel, but just so the fact that Nexa's a familiar face. It's not like it's a brand new player that you have to implement. He's been in this team before. His last game, I believe, was just a little under 2 years ago in the G2 jersey. So, you know, it's not like a fresh face that you have to bring in and get up to speed. There should be that kind of sense of familiarity there for them to kind of just adjust and play off.
Yeah, so I suppose you have the two things there, right? Like, in terms of dropping maps and whatnot, I think it really depends on the opponent. Let's go with something like they shouldn't drop into the lower bracket, right? So they might lose a map here or there against some of the teams. You know, there's gonna come a team that play at a decent kind of tier 2 level that, again, as talked about when it comes to like the preparation side of things, they've got Sprout on their side of the bracket. May well face off against like Saw, maybe even Space. I could see them making it through. Maybe an Aurora, right? These are sort of teams that are on their side of the bracket, so long as they stay up on that top side, that could potentially take a map. You know, they especially someone like Aurora, I can certainly foresee that they have a few pocket maps that they're pretty decent on, and loads of Counter-Strike played over the past few months. So I could see them dropping a map. They definitely shouldn't lose a game for sure. Maybe it gets a bit difficult towards the end. You've still got Big in here as well, right? Pretty scary team. And yeah, I don't know. I'd again include Aurora and maybe Sprout. Not quite sure. I've not caught Sprout post Wonderful. I would imagine it's quite the hole to fill. But in terms of, yeah, the Nexa edition, I'm completely agreeing. It's like it really shouldn't be this big thing. They've obviously gone, we need a change. We gotta do something here. And they've gone, okay, well, we like Nexa. He should be easy to slot in, should be easy, you know, to fit. I'm sure he'll be happy to kind of be plucked out of OG if we give him a few roles that are a bit harder to play, especially on that CT side. I'm sure he'll be down for it, you know? So I think that part of the logic behind him, it's not like they've gone to a prospect or they've gone to someone who is a really, really great player within their own team, but now we've got to mold them into our team. It's like Nexa is a bro, we know him well, and he should be happy to come back and join us, right? So whether it is fully permanent, I think is the next big question, really, because he does feel a little bit like a stopgap pickup to me. You know, it feels like maybe get him on 6 months, see how we feel, and then, you know, go through the major cycle, let's say, see how he performs, and then go from there, really. So it is kind of an interesting one. Maybe he'll be really impressive, but I also feel there is potentially a world in which the peak of his career has passed, and he's going to struggle to get back there, if that makes sense. It sounds like maybe we should be getting into things soon, which is nice. I think we should be into games soon.
Questions should be answered fairly soon because we are here, we are ready, and after that little bit of a tech pause, we should be getting underway. Pistol starting off T side for G2 here as they begin to creep their way up banana. PKL trying to man that B bomb site with Che as G2, it looks like they're just going to set up straight away for a B execute, which could be absolutely disastrous should PKL go down for nothing, but it's a nice little jiggle there at least, and he drops a smoke. And this should just delay G2 for the moment, but instead, actually, no. It looks like they're going to try and just pop all the way through. Che stands in front, the Julie's in hand, but ripped out of them after just a singular kill. PKL cannot do much more just to stop them. As G2, they're going to take the site.
Yeah, it's cost them a fair amount, though, hasn't it, to be fair, right? PKL takes one in the head through that smoke there, so that'll certainly make a difference. I was going to say HP bars are favouring Fluxo quite a bit, but locked out of the site, this post plant looks pretty tight as well. Really not going to be easy. P250 in play, right? There's a lot of potential damage to come off. A big crossfire at the back end of the site as well. Nexa holding from the front. The Glocks doing all the work. PKL, down he goes nice and easy, and Lukowski wasn't really feeling it from the get-go, it looks like. So he's going to hold at the bottom end of Banana, keep his Julies for the next round. But yeah, despite being a 4-on-4, the setup from G2 was so damn solid and just nothing to get anyone flushed out on that CT side. So the lack of utility, of course, in a pistol could be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, Luca Orsi kind of doing the hokey pokey down towards bottom Banana. He had his, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Didn't really know should he stay or kind of go. And when his teammates went down, he said, yeah, actually, do you know what? Sack this off. I'm going to save for the next round at least. But perfect start for G2. Getting the ball rolling early. Yeah, Sam, I thought we were going to see a little bit of an investment there. He had a UMP purchased, but decided to sell. Such a great feature. Stops me from fat fingering so many weapons.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I mean, it's definitely different without the wheel. You know, we could have done with it in Go when there was a wheel, because every now and then I'd buy like a UMP or whatever. When I definitely didn't mean to. Just one little misclick just ruins your entire buy, you know. Or the Scout, that was a famous one. You know, buying the Scout by accident.
The Scout was my biggest nemesis, honest to God. And I honestly wouldn't hit a barn door with a banjo with the Scout. It's absolutely just a waste of time. You may as well chalk the round there, and I think that's exactly what Fluxo are going to do here. Huxley, open and kill. They have B, and pretty straightforward. We weren't really going to see all that much. You're denying a lot of money here. If you don't go down to, especially that SMG of Huxley, we're going to get to the gun round pretty much straight away.
Yeah, a little anticlimactic here, but they are ultimately just trying to deny away kill bonus in particular. It can be kind of difficult for us to watch from a spectator's standpoint, but when it comes to the min-max of the game of Counter-Strike, it has to be done, right? You know, keep the money away. You want to break that bank as quickly as possible. They're obviously pretty confident in their rifle round. And if they do take it, if they do eliminate everyone, deny a bomb plant, that kind of thing, then the economy of G2 won't be the best. So it does get a little unpredictable from here on in, but I'm certainly curious to see what Fluxo have got planned for their first rifle.
It'll be interesting to see exactly what the setup is going to be. PKL opting for a lot of utility. He is one of the B players, of course, so maybe an aggressive banana take with himself and Che, but there is only 2 of them. He still does want to play a little bit close. He needs to dodge those nades because G2 are getting heavy towards top banana. They've taken the control for Fluxo. Unfortunately, they do have to forfeit it.
Yeah, not the best start. Left feeling uncomfortable. So G2 are going to like this position that they're in. A fair amount of control towards Banana allows them to play the rest of the map, to be honest, right? That's the way that Inferno goes. Not much has changed into CS2, really. Getting that back and forth control, keeping attention on both bomb sites. PKL is looking to go in. Has he got a flash to back him up here? I think he might just. Comes over the top. However, they were insanely ready for that. Monacy has the cheesy angle on top of the wall. Easy frag for him and an easy man advantage. Maybe a B take to come along with it as well. Che trying to stick around but doesn't fully commit. Nico confident in towards the site. Will clear it out and buy time and space for that bomb to go down.
That's it. Curtains on the round. With that molly, with that amount of control, you lose one fight, and Fluxo say, yeah, you know what, let's just call it a day here. We'll play again in the next round. Hope maybe it'll go a little bit better. Nexa is the real danger man here, though, as he is close by with the Galil, and surely he's going to go looking for at least something. I mean, any damage is going to be good damage for him here, but it's just about seeing if anybody can walk into him. His teammates get a little bit closer as well. It's not going to be just a straightforward save here for Fluxo. Surely Huxley is going to at least throw a gander into the site and see if he can come away with anything, but nothing sticks, as 4 players do come away with their purchased weapons. Fluxo, though, already opting for their first tactical timeout. Feeling the pressure already, but to be honest, I mean, they're 3 rounds down. It hasn't gone, extremely wrong for them. They've at least got a chance in this one, but the kind of issue is now you've got Manesi on an AWP, the money is kind of built up, that kind of bonus round from G2 is completely gone, they got it for pretty much free. You need a response here on your CT side, don't want to be giving up too much early.
Yeah, no, very true. This could very quickly get out of hand, right? We're still adjusting a little bit to the CS2 life and the less rounds and things like that, but even then, regardless of game, regardless of where the rounds are going, you need to get yourself off the ground, don't you? And I think that is looking to be harder and harder. G2 have played a fairly conventional, not too deep, not too challenging kind of game. I don't think a lot has been asked of them just yet, and that's not great signs. We were hoping in these early rounds that Fluxo would, at the very least, challenge them, you know, give us some retakes, some clutch moments, something like that. And I do like that they still have the confidence here down Banana. Not quite working for them, though. Nico going to hold cleanly. Lot of damage done. Potential for him to get another one here as well, actually. He's feeling it. Oh, and the pre-fire to find Che is just a bit ridiculous from Nico. Responses there. Munisi with the instant trade, though. That should be the round as the B bomb site once again will fall for Fluxo.
That's a terrifying prospect when you kind of look towards the future of this game, when you see Nico doing things like that towards top Banana. Just absolutely no fear whatsoever. And he shouldn't have any. I mean, yeah, Fluxo, they haven't really done much to kind of make G2 respect them early on. This could go from bad to worse, and indeed it will. Next with a quick double. Hunter, the lamb to the slaughter there, but it won't matter. G2 put their finishing touches on, I believe, a 4th round. And this is where now it begins to get kind of scary. Because you're 4-0 down. We don't know, of course, what the money situation is. I assume it's still in an okay position that they can maybe bring out a rifles, you know, a few rifles, SMGs, because they did save so many in the round previous. And it's pretty okay as of right now. Decent amount of utility as well, but B has been a problem. You can see the adjustment actually being made here from Fluxo. They're going to send 3 over just to make sure that they hold on to Banana early.
Yeah, it's smart, to be fair. Oh, the fight back results in nearly 2 frags for Fluxo there, so probably the best start to a round that they have had all game long. What's the plan now? Are they going to hold it? Are they going to push back? It looks like they are going to keep some presence there with the MP9 in particular. And maybe a bit more. Yeah, they're really committing to the idea of the Banana hold here. Trying to force them towards A.
You've already stopped Nico. Done a little bit of damage to Manesi. I don't know if that's confirmed damage or not, but you have at least forced them back for now. Luca Ozzy taking a little bit of a risk trying to go for the spam there. And takes a little bit of damage. It's a great molly by Hooksy. He does nullify that man advantage now. And does begin to worry Fluxo a little bit. You can see Luca Ozzy now rotating back over. The defenses is going to be split. So G2 are going to have the advantage on whatever bomb site they decide to head on to. Now that smoke definitely not by design. G2 with only 20 seconds. This is a big risk rotating back here, but Che Jesus left alone boosted here. There's one smoke from Manesi to get them across. The steps are being heard, and Luca Ozzy's going to be called to rotate on over. Che Jesus taken down. Oh, wow. Hooksy, what an entry, what a find. Needed to. The bomb falls there. That round is completely up in the air, and Fluxo, I mean, they've been unfortunate here.
I mean, if he is just able to, like, distract them, you know what I mean? Like, find a decent fight, maybe a kill, and just buy some time, right? Maybe survive even, you know, just able to drop off the boost or something like that. Anything but getting instantly demolished by a MAC-10 probably would have helped them win the round. At the very least, kept them in contention for it. But the fact that he just dies immediately, I think there'll be that breakdown in communication, that breakdown in confidence for the retake. And yeah, they just immediately move to save. So G2 getting away with a little bit of ridiculousness there in round number 5. I think that is safe to say. We've had a clean opening few rounds, but that one was definitely a bit messy. And seems the CS gods are on their side. Fluxo, though, hopefully keep that confidence. We like the banana take. We like the fact that they tried to patch that hole, and they did so successfully. They just could not convert the round in the end.
I mean, it's an absolute death clamor, isn't it? I mean, if you're up on that boost and you get killed like that, I mean, there's definitely, you know, something being thrown across the room. I'm not sure what, but you need to make sure you throw the kitchen sink at the rest of this first half, as Molly down in front of paiN. He actually has the cross back from PKL. He's looking for a nice opportunity to maybe take somebody out of the round early, but it's not going to happen. Instead, forced all the way back, and it's some great damage from utility. You look at paiN down to 30 HP. Nico taking a little bit of chip damage as well. And once again, it's Fluxo sending those 3 players over early because they know that the hole is on B, and they continue to patch it and continue to apply the pressure with some more retake nades.
Not an awful look, to be honest. Both teams, I think, will be relatively happy to just trade tit for tat, bits of control on the map. But at the end of the day, Fluxo need a win. Need a win. So the fact that they still have everyone left alive is a pretty good sign. Great position here from Zevi. I do like it. Not going to get checked. Easy pickup for him. Oh, VSM with the swing out mid, though. It's maybe a little overzealous, particularly when you've only got 2 on A. You know, it now leaves Zevi alone. However, that might just work out for them as well. Yeah, they've really committed to this idea of staying B. I was a little bit apprehensive when they weren't really rotating, but this could work for them, Jack. It really could.
Really good. Smoke deployed as well for PKL just to try and stay alive. Che hoping that he doesn't get insta this time around, but his teammate does. He manages to trade one out at least, and he is buying a lot of time for himself, maybe to get Luca Ozzy in position, but it's not going to be enough. paiN gets the bomb down. All the kills seem to continue to go in the way of G2, and Zevi, he has to get his clutching boots on, and he's been spotted already. Hunter's seen him. paiN now holding the cross, but a wayward shot from paiN. Not too often that you do say that or see that indeed. Zevi might just have a chance here, but paiN holding takes him out of the round, and it is picture perfect so far for this new look G2.
Yeah, not really putting a foot wrong, right? Obviously, bits of pressure in places that they are finding themselves under, but they're able to deal with it pretty well, as you would expect from a team of their caliber. There can often be this, I wouldn't necessarily call it like a grace period, but there can be ultimately a difficulty, for want of a better word, for some of the tier 1 teams when they come into these online tournaments to adjust, right? You're not in that LAN environment. Doesn't quite feel as tight-knit, you know, with the rest of the team, as deep, let's say, in terms of where you have to go with your mental fortitude and everything. At least in terms of the environment. Just being in your bedroom, usually kind of chill. They might be on a bit of a boot camp, to be fair. Not quite sure. It is certainly possible, right? New look team and everything. So that definitely helps, but these guys will be used to having the crowd and the loud noises and just the intensity, right? That's something that we'll be missing. So sometimes you can see these tier 1 teams really struggle to get into the mindset that they have on LAN in an online game, but it seems like G2 are doing pretty well with that so far.
Yeah, some say it's a completely different game online to on LAN, and usually the big difference is the op, but paiN hitting everything that moves at the moment, and G2 make their way onto B once again. Of course, there was only one player there, but right now, Fluxo just being picked apart, and weren't expecting them to do too much damage in this round. Of course, there was only the rifle and a few SMGs and pistols between them, but so far they're getting absolutely ran over, and it does nothing for your confidence, especially not picking up at least a single kill in the round. So it continues to go really and get away from Fluxo. You can see G2, they're not even resting. You know, they're getting the bomb down. They want to take these weapons away. They want to make it as uncomfortable as possible for the Brazilians. But what I really like to see from G2 is that, you know, they are taking this game seriously, right? I mean, it's not like they're coming in saying, oh, okay, well, we're the clear favourites, we should be destroying these guys. They are taking it serious, because a lot of teams, when they come into these online events, sometimes they're caught sleeping because they come in, they say, oh no, we should be beating these, 10 times out of 10, absolutely no way we should be losing, and then all of a sudden they get hit in the face with a few online plays and they're in deep water already. But G2, absolutely no signs of that already. But I like what I see. I see Zevi on an AWP. Hopefully, maybe Fluxo can change the dynamic of things, because Manessi's having free reign. And we spoke about how important he could be to Fluxo's chances.
Yeah, we did actually. We did. And so far, not so good. I mean, he's not the only one, right? We've got 2 players on the Fluxo team that are yet to frag. There we go. Nice to see. Nice to see. Again, though, Fluxo not like turtling. It is really great from them that they're still able to bring this confidence. Can be difficult to deal with. VSM loses his head pretty quickly. 4 versus 4. Nico got to be a bit careful. He's stuck over here. There's no offensive utility on the side of Fluxo, though. It would have been disastrous if a nade landed next to him, but, not going to be the case there. So, 4-on-4. Pretty heavy A lean here from Fluxo as well. Hoping to get this gamble correct. And you know what? It looks like it might be another B hit here.
Yeah, I like this from Fluxo, though. I mean, they're not resting here. They're going to look for that information. They've realised they've got PKL in a horrible position, and they're just going to push down, realise middle is clear, so they're going to have a really fast pinch here. But Che, he needs to find this kill. That's the bomb as well. Hooksy was the man throwing all the nades, and now G2 have to turn around. Worry about the players making their way up banana. Nexa deals with one. No idea that Luca Ozzy is there, and you can see G2, they're completely uncomfortable now. They don't know what to do. They don't know, should they go into the stack or should they walk back, because there could be a player absolutely anywhere in middle, and Luca Ozzy sat in Mexi ready and waiting. Zevi just cuts the troops of G2 down to just 2, and Luca Ozzy in a fantastic position now to just steal this round away. 1 kill will even do it, just buying enough time. Even if Hunter finds that kill, it wasn't going to happen. But Fluxo, they finally get on the board, and it's that up really making the difference.
Yeah, for sure. Finding the opener, bit of panic in the G2 camp, right? Something new for them to deal with. I'm a little bit curious there as to what you think. I'm not sure they would have had time to get that bomb down.
It would have been very close.
Yeah, from the immediate turnaround there.
Yeah.
I want to say it might be like 17 seconds from banana to A, depending on where you stood. And there was only like 20 seconds left. So yeah, it would have been really, really quite tight. But either way, we never get that world. We never get that scenario. They obviously go down to the MP9. So, Fluxo, finally on the board. 1 is good. It does mean you are denied away the 13-0, of course. But you're going to need a few more than just 1, aren't you? And G2, you've woken them up now. You made them angry. Okay? They're going to find a couple of early frags. Nico looking for a bit more as the utility comes over the top. He will, however, decide against it thanks to his low HP. 5 versus 3 is very much a winnable position here, and they are feeling pretty confident around the A hit. VSM, decent position for him. Does well to find 2, and we get 1 more as well. That is absolutely massive from VSM, bringing them back into the round, completely blasting this one open. 2 remain now for G2, and it's suddenly gone from the unlosable situation. That 5% in there has made all the difference all of a sudden into the post plant, into the clutch. But up against Hunter and Nexa, the dynamic duo, it's been a little while since they were in a position like this, I'm sure. Can they run it back a few years and find that same level of comfortability from here? Hunter in the pit, looking good, looking confident, but he will go down through the smoke. Just going to be Nexa, the new addition, only good for 1. Fluxo pulling around out of nowhere thanks to VSM.
From no kills to 5 in a matter of moments. VSM take a bow. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. Fluxo, it looked like they didn't have a chance. They were in a 3v5 there, and VSM gets himself into a fantastic position that G2 never saw coming. They kind of half cleared it with Hooksy, but, you know, you're swinging in first with an op. Not usually his weapon of choice either. It was always going to be difficult, and once he goes down, Manesi was instant as well. There was no trade happening there. And I mean, Fluxo, that's the kind of round that can really spur you on. That will, you know, breathe a lot of life now into this CT side. And look at this aggressive play from Luca Ozzy. He wants to get in the faces now of G2, spots out Manessi, not able to find the kill, but he will turn around, pivots and finds the double. Nico needs to find this trade and does. But already, you can see Fluxo, look how aggressive they're being. You've got VSM pushed all the way deep in second mid, looking for a little snippet of information, spots out Nico at least. And I mean, the Brazilians have G2 worried here. This is not familiar territory at all so far.
Yeah, man. Again, as said, you have to be very, very, very careful against these Brazilian teams, and rounds like that from VSM can really spur them forwards. Just make them completely unpredictable. The confidence will come back, right? You see how deep the kills happen in this round. Definitely there, though, on the G2 side of things. With only 45 seconds left, there has to be an attempt made. Plenty of cash, so I wouldn't be saving here. Orp on the contact, however, clearing out balcony, I think, will be a real challenge if he wants to do that alone. But just holding an angle at the moment, hoping that someone comes into his crosshair, does not look to be likely. Zevi on the safe angle around the corner as well. Nico is able to sneak out here, but Zevi is pushed up and he drops the bomb. Pretty big frag. Munisi on that angle. Comes off it, though. Is he able to find this trade here? I don't think so anymore. Zevi's the one that's actually trained on the angle. Flash is coming in. Balcony completely forgotten about. Munisi with only 4 seconds left will go down. And I think that was just in the nick of time for him to get the loss bonus. All the same, Fluxo closing this gap here towards the tail end of the first half.
Yeah, and you can, I mean, if the round score doesn't tell you that, you know, the momentum is definitely shifting here, and you can tell by that tack time out from G2 there, because they are getting a few things wrong now. They're, you know, noticing there is a few gaps in where they're holding. Look at this from Luca Ozzy. Didn't even get to see it from his POV, but he looked to whiff that initial kill onto the Opper and then just turn around and be instantly ready for 2 players swinging out second middle. Some quick headshots, really shutting down G2's round before it can even get going and get rolling. And this is what we wanted to see from Fluxo, man. This is what, you know, we were hoping to see. At least an entertaining game, at least a competitive game, because we didn't just want to see G2 absolutely blow them out of the water, and it looks like they're not as of right now. It's looking a little bit desperate for a few moments, but a change up of approach here maybe. Hooksy trying to send it straight up top banana. PKL thought he had the job done on the IGL at G2, but it's not going to happen. He's still alive. He's still picking up kills with the rifle, with the utility, and Luca Ozzy realizing that the numbers around him are depleting, and he's not going to have a rotation. He's not going to have any backup. He's going to have to try and stop this attack alone here, but as that smoke dissipates, he needs to be quick. And he's only good for just the one VSM. Can he conjure up something magical once again?
We'll see. We'll see. The end of the round is a bit harder to do it than the middle of the round. And he doesn't have the confidence. Or a call's come in from higher up saying, no, save that M4. Look at where our money's at. We really do need you to hold on to that M4, actually.
Yeah, I don't think it's a confidence thing. I definitely think it's...
You know, he was so ready.
Yeah, cooler heads just saying, okay, you know, let's just rein it in here a little bit. We know you're good, but let's at least have something to play around with in the next round.
Yeah, particularly the fact that he's able to creep around and get that up there is obviously a massive deal. But yeah, if you just look where the cash is, Che might be on something a bit dodgy. Even then, I think he'll be comfortable enough, you know, an MP9 and possibly a FAMAS. So... not the end of the world. Not the end of the world in terms of where the buy ends up here, but particularly getting that AWP into the next round. Zevi, therefore, gets to hold a bit more cash, so he can probably drop somebody. Yeah, looking good then. Looking good then for where all the rifles are going to end up, to be honest with you. I think Che won't have to make that sacrifice, in fact. So a pretty good buy all round, thanks to that one AWP save, right? It really does make a big difference. Looking for the 4th round on the Fluxo side of things, though. 3 still not going to be enough to cut it, in my opinion. Yeah, even 4 will be a bit of a challenge, to be honest.
Definitely could be a little bit of a challenge, but, you know, Brazilians and their T-sized, man, you just never know. But starting off this round early, PKL actually getting aggressive towards Banana. He is going to trade out, Jay. That's huge for that Banana control. And also huge in terms of where this round might go. But PKL eventually just gets a little bit too aggressive. Luca Ozzy still wants a little bit more, standing on the edge of the smoke. And Hunter doesn't realize he's there. That was such an awkward exchange. And somehow the Brazilians do come out on top. They're in a 3v2 right now. 2 players towards 8. And G2 seem to be making their way slowly up. Now in the hands. Nexa is going to be spotted as he swings in, but completely blindsided by VSM and Fluxo. They are at least going to take that final round moving forward into the second half. And to be honest, that's a great recovery for them, because it was looking like that could have definitely been a 12-0, you know, the way things were going early on. I believe it was 7-0 before we started. So even to get those 4 rounds, it shows a bit of life, it shows a bit of fight in them, but still a very, very long road ahead of them.
Yeah, I think, again, as we were talking about, if they can bring a bit of competition, I think they'll be happy. But, yeah, finding the game itself, finding the map itself, really going to be a challenge. Particularly here on Inferno. The nuke, we maybe hold our breath a tiny bit more. But it is going to be difficult here on Inferno, particularly now swapping over to this T side. Yeah, I really do start to worry for them.
They're going to clear out absolute least. Trying to see what's going on around the map. It is a little bit difficult, but you can see towards Banana is where they're going to end up. Just clear out apartments, make sure nobody's aggressive there, make sure that there's maybe no early information for G2 to maneuver off. Instead, it's just a player jiggling with a smoke as the execute should come over. Manesi does have Julie's, and he has a little bit of backup in Nico sat behind the pillar. And the HUD restored just in time as the execute does come in. They've wasted all their smokes here, so they need to go through this. The molly as well, but Fluxo, they still want to stand on the other side of it, waiting for the 2 flashes. Manesi completely blind, but he's not going to be cleared, not going to be checked. Nico actually helps him out, but instead, G2, they just fall over. Couldn't really get too much done. Hunter trying to get a little bit fortunate, spamming. And he is echolocation through that smoke, maybe to collect a kill, but it doesn't happen. Fluxo get themselves into some decent post plants now. Huxley is making absolutely no secrets about coming up Banana, but he doesn't need to, because he comes away with the kills. But now he needs to go very quickly to get onto the site. But Fluxo do manage to hold on, and they start off the T side well. That's what they needed, that's what they're after, and now they're one step closer to getting into this game.
Yeah, okay, so I kind of like that, right? A lot of aggression coming in from them. I think that's really effective. And again, just playing around with the individual kind of power that Fluxo are starting to warm up to. It's taken them a bit of time, but Ikazi having a pretty decent game. VSM had a round. I think it's more Che and Zevi actually that have looked more consistent. So we're very much looking forward to the second half then. Them springboarded on the T side, it can be difficult to stop. G2 have got a flash idea here. Che just spraying and praying. Oh, and a second one as well. Does catch PKL. He doesn't go down. He does have the support now as well, but they're coming in from all different kinds of angles. Eventually dealt with, however, Zevi with the 4K against the unarmored opponents, making it look nice and easy. For just a second there, I thought, oh goodness, here we go, but they handled it well.
I mean, they handled it well, but the idea was kind of wrong there from Flux. So nobody playing anti-flash. It is a common pistol, you would say, that, somebody maybe flashes in and tries to cause a few problems like that. So maybe caught sleeping a little bit, getting away with one there, because I've definitely seen rounds lost like that. But, okay, Fluxo, they come in, they clean it up, and they get it nevertheless. But now G2, they're on the rifles here. Everybody opting for the A1S. So utility is going to be lacking somewhat. No flashes on the belts, but plenty of smokes and a few mollies sprinkled throughout the 5 players. As of right now, an exchange of map control going on. G2 still kind of fighting somewhat for a banana. Don't want to give it up too much for free. But now we get kind of into the latter stages of the round. Mid-round, you've only got 2 smokes left. This is where the problems begin to arise for G2.
Yeah. Kind of splurged it all early, haven't they, really? Again, it's a fast round from Fluxo. G2 a bit slower on their T side, I would say, for sure, right? That back and forth in between bomb sites. Fluxo, it seems, pulling no punches, really. Just kind of keep it simple at the early stages at the very least, looking for some control. An interesting little boost here in the new cubby on CS2's Inferno. No one on the other side of it, though. At all. In fact, it is, a pretty locked off a bomb site. Awkward smoke. So we have lost a bit of utility there for the T side. That leaves Library awkwardly open. Molotov will indeed be there, but Huxley's going to have an opportunity. Never mind. Smoke comes around. There's not going to be anything for the post plant, though. I'll tell you that much for free. Huxley feeling confident to go through here as well, based off of the setup. It's so awkward. Munisi at the back of the site finds 2, and that is easy for G2.
Leaving it way too late. Fluxo playing themselves, really. I mean, when you're leaving it to, 12 seconds there, when that smoke went in towards Library to get onto a bomb site to clear out all those angles and find the kills. If the bomb goes down, at all in that scenario, even if the defense managed to find one single kill, the round is pretty much done from there, and that's exactly what happened. There was absolutely no chance they were getting anything from that as soon as Menesi found a single on the site. And Fluxo really have kind of squandered a chance to continue to bring this game closer to being level. Now you can see the money situation. I'd say it's just not fantastic at all for Fluxo. You've got Luca Ozzy on a hero rifle, but that is definitely the height of it.
Yeah, they've been knocked down pretty severely, haven't they, after losing that last round, to be honest with you. And they are, once again, back in reality. Lovely nade. Hunter has an opportunity to really find a lot of frags here. That's exactly what he's after. There is a bit of KSing going on from Munisi. They were all hunters, but, when they're coming at Munisi, what else can he do? Great game from him, by the way. We highlighted him as one of our players to watch, and he definitely is delivering.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely no surprises to probably anyone that Menesi is one of the shining lights on G2. But it is always nice to see, especially, we talked about it in the pre-game. I believe you mentioned it, that a lot of operators are struggling to kind of adapt to the transition over into the new game with the way just that opping is at the moment. See, the aggression here is nice here from Hunter. He's going to push all the way down in towards second mid. Now he's hearing steps all around him. This could be a big problem. Menesi's going to help him out, but Hunter still goes down, coming away with absolutely nothing. Menesi, though, with that AK, ever dangerous. Already racking up 2 quick kills. BSM still wants to go exploring here. And the steps away might have just signed his death warrant here, because Nexa is hearing absolutely everything. Could catch him on the retreat. He does so, but not going to be rewarded with the kill. However, Menesi continues to take head off shoulders. And this is looking like it could be another G2 round, because Fluxo, I would not be confident walking into a bomb site with PKL and VSM so low.
Really quiet here. Going into the final third of the round. Not really much that these guys can do, I feel. I think they're starting to realise that, to be honest. Might just be a save angle. It does indeed suck, for want of a better word, but like there's not really anything you can do into this round. The futility of it just way too obvious. So they will hold what they have, give G2 an 11th, and give G2 a pretty good position to start thinking about getting the map victory here, to be honest with you. CT side took a bit of time. Looked like maybe Fluxo could give us something, but once the guns have come out into play, just way too much control from G2, isn't there? Way too much confidence, especially from the young gun of m0NESY. You see that in the replays there.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a tough one really to kind of talk about and say, you know, what they should really do. I mean, like how do you stop that? You know, if you don't deny him from the insta pick early on, you know, you're up against probably one of the best mechanical players that we've seen in a very, very long time. You know, a prodigy of the game, and he's just right now peeking you and doing whatever he wants. I wish there was, you know, a straightforward answer that I could give to Fluxo right now, or indeed their coach could give to his players to kind of stop m0NESY in his tracks, but it just looks like it's not going to happen. You can see Fluxo investing into whatever they can, but man, this is looking like a bare bones buy. They don't want to too heavily invest. They want to at least be able to, you know, kind of roll the dice in what could be the final round of the game should they come up short in their endeavours this time around. But you've got two AKs, you need to put them to good use. PKL so far has struggled, but this would be the perfect time to step up and be counted here. But that is not going to help proceedings. A massive nade and a quick double kill from Nico. Fluxo once again being torn limb from limb.
Looking all too easy. Yeah, I think they're just in a really tough spot from here. Obviously, gone for the save angle, but really up a creek. Really struggling. VSM, perhaps the last hope in this round. Does find a frag. And relatively healthy after the fact. So there's certainly pressure here. G2 have just got to be careful to give the respect across. And I think at the end of the day, you want to start winning these rounds super cleanly to just continue sending that message of being the favourite, of being the out-and-out victor before the game even gets done. So, you know, if you allow them to bring it close, then maybe Fluxo start to believe, you know, and that's not what you want.
Yeah, we don't really advise, you know, kicking somebody when they're down, but when it's Counter-Strike, you know, it's all is fair in love and war, isn't that what they say? And, you know, it's just G2 right now just trying to squeeze the life out of not only this round, but you can see they're trying to just squeeze the weapons maybe out of the hands of Fluxo. Hunter was very, very close. Maybe finding them out, but instead goes the other way. Maybe is an opportunity. The steps being heard. You cower in the corner. Letibulate, if you will. With G2, 12-6. This is an absolute statement coming out from the new look roster. You know, we were talking about it. We were expecting this. We were expecting, you know, a dominant performance on map 1, at least their own pick. And I mean, when we look towards Nuke, it doesn't really get too much better for Fluxo.
Alrighty. Hopefully they can give us a bit of something here towards the tail end of Inferno to, yeah, give them that confidence moving into Nuke, right? That's what we're looking for at the moment. They have to be realistic. Wasn't their map pick, not one of their best or most played maps. It's all about the Nuke in the mind of Fluxo. A lot of early nadage going down, bit of damage done. No frags as yet, though. It seems like it will be more of an A finish for Fluxo.
Still plenty of time for them to make up their mind here, but man, That nade just softening them up even more. Manesi getting into position. Oh, wayward shot though. There's an opportunity now. The door begins to creep open in this round. Need to make sure that it doesn't slam shut in your fingers though. That could be a massive issue. Luca Owsley gonna get up onto this nasty little angle once again. I don't think he's gonna get too much out of this situation from here, but when you don't see much of an adjustment here from G2, I think the decision is going to be fall away, pick up that bomb, and make your way over towards B, which would be the better of the two. I mean, Huxley doesn't have any util to slow them down, just has the weaponry, and he's even going to rotate away. So they're going to gamble that it's going to be A. They're going to get it wrong for once. And Fluxo might have just stayed alive for at least one more.
Potentially. But we'll see. I'm going to go down. I think that pretty much seals it, doesn't it? Yeah, G2 not committing to this at all. Nikazi sticking around on A, looking for some exits. If you can find one or two, it would certainly help the comeback campaign. But also not committing too much. Very tentative here across the board. Oh, Nikazi, what is this timing? What is this timing? That's crazy coming away with that kill. Hunter trying to track him down here. Also got them coming in from behind. So Hunter's a little locked into the apartments right now. Seems acutely aware. Oh, he definitely is now. Has to take the fight. They are battling for their survival right now on the G2 side of things. Looks like they will be successful. But the round itself, of course, going the way of Fluxo. And they are keeping things interesting here. 5 more rounds to go for the overtime.
A little bit too far away before we can, you know, kind of look at it and go, okay, yeah, there's maybe a chance. I think it's maybe 1 or 2 rounds too far away to kind of be hopeful. Fluxo didn't want to send too many people on the hunt there, of course. They want to take those weapons away, but you want to make sure that you at least have a full utility belt and an AK for this round, of course. This time G2, they'll start with 3 towards B, that molly down, just to kind of get a lot of control, make sure nobody is close as well to that half wall. And there could be nades raining on in onto these Fluxo players once again. Hooksy, it's actually going to be Nico's molly to burn PKL to a crisp. The spam perfect as well. This now looking like it is completely out of the question for Fluxo, as nothing has gone their way this round whatsoever. They've been cut down by utility. The gunfights have not been up to scratch. And Jay Jesus, well, even for Christ himself, this might be undoable.
Yes, very true. Very, very true. Yeah, they have forsaken him so all on his lonesome. He was doing all right towards the tail end of the first half, I have to say, Che, but it seems the second half, this T side, has really not done him any favours. I feel like he's had 1 kill this entire second half. And that might just be all he's able to get as well. A rough spray down there as Nico finishes him off. For the 13-7 on Inferno, I don't think there are too many surprises on that one, really, but a pretty decent showing towards the tail end of the first half. A little bit into the second half from Fluxo, but at the end of the day, just not able to match up against the powerhouse that is G2.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Fluxo, they did make it competitive somewhat. You know, that definitely could have been a 13-0. You know, it could have been, you know, 13-1, 13-2. There was, you know, a moment in there that we were kind of thinking, okay, this is what we wanted to see from Fluxo. They were getting aggressive. They were getting in the faces of G2. They were making them uncomfortable on G2's T side. But, you know, it is just that wealth of experience and the level that G2 are so used to playing at. They're taking this game seriously. They want to make sure that they go very deep in this tournament and maybe even win it all together. So, you know, they're not taking any chances, especially against a team that, you know, they're going to take every inch that you give them. But, you know, Fluxo, I'm kind of positive looking towards, you know, a map that they've been so dominant in the domestic scene. You know, they've 100% win percentage on Nuke, but it is just a completely different ball game when you head over into this EU competition against, you know, a G2 team that, you know, once were considered the best Nuke team in the world.
Yeah, and I mean, we've just seen there as well on the Inferno, getting their T side off the ground was really difficult. They're going to start on the T side here. It doesn't make as big a difference as maybe players especially lean into, right, when you crunch the numbers, so to speak, but it'll definitely affect things here, I think, right, particularly in terms of the mental for the side of Fluxo, having to just get the ground running. Fresh slate, all that sort of stuff, right, play their own game. It's easier said than done. And again, you've got G2 on the other end of things. So, yeah, it's really going to be a challenge here. But very much looking forward to it. I do believe we are going to take a break before we head into things, though. About 10 minutes or so. And we should be back with that second map. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you on Nuke.
Are you sick of
Watch the matches with bo3.gg, the official stats partner of CCT. Check out AI-powered predictions in live matches. Get access to live scoreboards packed with in-depth weapons and grenade statistics. Check out round maps in the match results. Extend your game vision with bo3.gg.
Well, what are you doing?
Exhibit.
What do you think? I'm a paperclip? It's Mr. X to the Z. You need to quit browsing like a lame and get Opera GX. Because with GX mods, you can pimp your motherfucking browser. All you gotta do is click here, select the mod, and boom! New look, new sounds, new everything. It's not easy being a legend. Oh, not again. Change the mod now. Download Opera GX.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the CCT Online Finals. Map 2 coming up very shortly between G2 and Fluxo, and so far, you know, it went as expected. G2 taking a 13-7 victory of Inferno. Now we change over and we look towards the map pick of Fluxo, which is a map that they haven't been beaten on in the last 3 months. I believe they're 7 out of 7 in the domestic scene, but for the very first time they're going to be taking on EU competition on Nuke. How are you feeling going into this one, Harvey?
Well, I mean, I think given what we've just seen on Inferno, yes, it's a great map for Fluxo. Maybe there'll be a bit more of a wall, a bit more of a battle back, but I do think it's going to be really hard for them here. G2 just playing a pretty clean game of Counter-Strike. I'd say about 85% of those rifle rounds were very dominant. Not too much of a challenge for G2, particularly in that first half, right? Fluxo only gaining energy towards the end, you know, and off the back of like VSM's ace and everything, big 3k in the middle of the round. Moments like this really challenging. So yeah, I think it's going to be difficult for Fluxo here.
Yeah, well, we are going to be jumping into the game. And we're getting underway with the T side of Fluxo. The challenges into his back pocket. VSM and Luca Ozzy now trying to make their way out of the heaven. Hunter will spot the information. Manesi good for just a 1. And VSM at least brings a little bit of life into this round. 4 kills already. He could be on for another ace. And so far, he's been Fluxo's star.
Mr. Nico, though, isn't it? One of the scariest players to face off against in a 1 versus 1 in the entire game of Counter-Strike. No matter the time of day, no matter the situation, no information as well. Very unsure of where he's coming from. Nico taking his time, but he will lose his head. And I have to roll us back a moment there to Hunter, honestly. I instinctively, just natural head in hands, man. You know, I don't like that face from him, to be honest with you. Munisi does a great job. Obviously finds that interim kill, then finds a kill confirming the bomb plant and all that sort of stuff, right? Confirming where the bomb is. And I think Hunter just needs to wait, but he takes the wide swing, goes down, forces Nico into the 1 versus 1, which is much more a 50-50 kind of scenario, much harder to win when you are by yourself, as we saw. So a pretty big misstep, I would say, from Hunter there, in my opinion.
A little bit of overconfidence maybe coming into it there. You know, it's a difficult fight to be taken. Long range with the Julies as well. So, you know, there's that element of it. But so far, I mean, the pistol's causing at least a few problems here for Fluxo. PKL will get himself out, but only comes away at 1 kill. Look at the amount of damage done. These are only a few bullets away from death, but somehow Fluxo, they have 2 players still standing. Che and VSM, man, I have no idea how either of them didn't go down here. But Nexa, with this P250, this should be no problem. He just needs the body shot here. He will take Che Jesus out of the round. In the meantime, he's lost Hunter, and Zevy's still full HP. VSM now waiting for his teammate to get alongside him because they need to get this bomb back and get out onto this A site to get it down. Will be able to do so, but still, Fluxo, they will not be comfortable. If Nexa somehow manages to catch the element of surprise onto the high HP player, this is still doable.
Clear Nora's angles, very unsure of where to look here. Not a lot of time to play with as well is kind of the big thing, so he's walking in, but he's got to maybe get a bit of a step on, especially because they are facing away from him ultimately. Time really becoming of the essence here, and there's the well-timed peak from Zevy, speaking of timings. Very well played indeed in the end from Fluxo, but very, very close, to be honest, considering the amount of money that was spent there by G2, and Nexa in particular will have made quite a lot of cash on that round, so the buy here will be a lot better for it.
I mean, the pistol rounds that they come up against the USPs, even the one on Inferno that we've seen, not comfortable, but at least you're not losing them, right? I mean, it could be a whole lot worse. And especially starting off early, this was a big problem that we actually were talking about, that G2 could really just put this game to bed before we even see a CT side. But already, Fluxo playing very well indeed. Huxley with that XM spamming through the smoke. I mean, takes a lot of damage, but outputs a lot as well. Still the man advantage in play. Luca Ozzy seems to be ready for Menesi to peek his head up. Could be a little game of whack-a-mole, and well, Menesi taken out of the server. So far so good. Not particularly clean for Fluxo. They have a two-man advantage. Need to keep it that way.
Nexa on the passive angle here. Here's the footsteps. Going to go in for a dry peek. Gets beautiful timing on that first one. But again, maybe a bit of an overface. Did need a hero moment, I guess. Can't just take the one frag and walk away there. It's not really worth it. But all the same, we are starting to see some of the G2 overconfidence get the better of a few individuals. Huxley on the auto shotgun, taking the close angle. This could be big. This could be big. He's coming up against Che. Oh, my goodness. He's just been shot by an elbow. There's no way that guy was fully round the corner. Either way, Hunter is now left alone against four of them.
Yeah, it did look a little bit funny, didn't it? I mean, yeah, definitely one that I wouldn't be too happy myself dying to. But sometimes that's the way it goes. Right-hand peak, you know, that's the game. And unfortunately, Hunter has to play out the rest of this round alone. Now, he should be fine. He should be able to hang on to this M4. But Fluxo, straight away with the response. You know, this is what we wanted to see. They had a little bit of confidence, you know, on that map one. We talked about breathing a little bit of life into that first half. You know, they showed us that they definitely can do it. They definitely can, you know, cause G2 problems in some rounds. They just needed to be a little bit more consistent about a few things. And so far, this T side, they're getting out, they're finding the kills, they're, you know, finding the opening duels, working out in their favor time and time again. And this leaves G2's money in an awkward situation. I mean, you can have Hunter maybe running around the map with that M4, put him in a position that he can just kind of run around, maybe pick up a fight, whatever he wants to take, try and get that advantage early on. He can maybe opt to play a little bit safer if he wants, but try and do as much damage as possible to make life a whole lot easier for the rest of the pistols left in this round. Look, so I like this from them though, going a little bit heavy towards outside. Nico with a deagle ready, but look at Hunter getting into position. This could really go astray here for Fluxo.
This could go very sideways indeed. PKL is the only one to have found a frag for the T side, and it continues to get worse. ESM's found a bit of space down below. He does have the bomb, of course. Ooh, and Huxley, just watch out here, right? Don't give the kills back. Keep that man advantage. Munisi's got himself a rifle. You know, this really, really could get difficult for Fluxo. VSM, though, he knows what's up. He's holding patiently, and big opportunity to find the frag on the backside if Munisi wants to go for it. Munisi, though, he's a smart guy, of course, playing safe. Just trapping VSM in right now. Can't get away without a member of G2 seeing where he's going. So, pretty good position. Hooksy going to start pushing in, get the distraction in as well. m0NESY trying to find the timing here, but the flank came in from Che. They waited a bit too long to get the crunch going, and now it is just Nexa alone with a 5-7 and nothing else.
The new boy shut down. Che making sure of that. It's a scary one indeed for Fluxo. They don't do easy rounds for sure. We can see that throughout this game. I think the difference there was the fact that Hunter actually broke the glass earlier on. So you can see Hooksy had no idea that Che was coming behind him, and VSM just playing it so smart, being so patient. And it kind of worked out in his favor that G2 just wanted to kind of wait and see if he'd walk into them as well. No idea that pinch was coming through, and it didn't really matter in the end. He still managed to find that kill onto m0NESY. Che did have his back covered as well, saving that round from getting a little bit embarrassing. Nico starting this one off well though, instantly traded out. Hunter goes down for nothing. Zevi, does he want to risk going for a shot? He's holding for the top of blue box there, knows that Nico might attempt a little bit of a peek there, but how about this for a timing? Che has gotten out. Does he spot Nico? Is he going to be ready for him? And the answer is no. Back into a fair fight.
Slow roll here from Fluxo. A lot of space gained outside, of course. And therefore, a lot of options. G2 playing second fiddle right now. I don't think we were expecting this at all. Maybe even they themselves are somewhat shocked, which is a pretty difficult position to be in. Having to recover. And you maybe didn't even expect the recovery. We all saw that, Hooksy. Might even have been heard, you know. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Either way, he loses his window of opportunity there, Jack, right? To take the peek and maybe catch them off guard. So he's going to gather a bit of information, but could have had a kill if he'd played his cards slightly better. A lot of noise going to be made now as he makes his way into Mini. Down he goes. And a 3 versus 2 ensuing. Potentially just a save here for the remaining G2 boys, I feel.
I'm just glad to see it's not only me that sometimes messes up that movement. It is actually messed up at pro play as well. But it's so awkward. You missed the timing. You had an opportunity. Nico is looking like he wants to at least take a peek. Oh, and he's dead right. I mean, what a shot that is. The first, the second, and Nico wants to continue to go. He's got the backup of his new familiar teammate Nexa, and he will shut down PKL. No chance of the save there. This is going to be close on the defuse, though. And they don't have it. They find all the kills. Nico goes down. Nexa at least saves the AWP. But Fluxo continue their perfect start on Nuke. And G2 just getting it a little bit wrong there. Waiting a little bit too late. And now the question begs, you know, were they better off just going for the save there rather than risking it all?
I mean, probably, to be honest. There's a lot of frustration coming through for the G2 team at the moment. There's obviously a pause being taken here, and yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, right? Even if they had saved, probably wouldn't have been able to buy. Might have gone for something weird down the middle. I don't know. Perhaps some of the thought around going for it was to just even out the economy as best they can, but they're still going to go in for the buy post-pause. So, yeah. Now it makes even less sense. You know what I mean? Like, if they'd gone down the middle in this one and trying to go for the best possible rifle round that they can, okay, fair enough. But they're not. So it would have been really nice to see, like, more utility or a kit in play here. But because of the choices made, we don't have that. I don't know. Little strange to me. I think G2 are wavering here.
Maybe a little bit of nerves. Maybe realising, okay, Fluxo have come to play on the second map. It was plain sailing on map 1. But the domestic dominance now has taken a plane over. And we see it come into fruition on the EU stage. Fluxo Now getting set up for what looks to be an APOC, but a heavily manned site. I mean, the molly goes down, Hunter will deploy at least a smoke to stay up on top, so anybody making their way out hut should be cut to bits. But pop hasn't happened just yet, and maybe timing will work out in Fluxo's favour. But slowly but surely they are running out of it.
Hooksy looking to get a little zesty over there. VSM going to find Muncie meanwhile. Nexa trying to stand strong but can't. VSM with the double entry. 25 seconds left. No one really near the action on the G2 side of things. Hunter has made his way down quite quickly, but yep, not fancying it. Door closed, save called. Fluxo continue to dominate here. 6 in a row for them on Nuke.
G2 as well. I mean, it looked like they had the perfect read there. They had 2 players towards the ramp. They knew it wasn't outside. They had all that information. Uxie trying to do a little bit of damage here, at least. And it is terrifying when you do have the auto shotgun firing pellets at you. He has now at least upgraded onto an AWP, but he's the last player left here, and he should go down. I don't believe he's going to be ready for this angle. Never mind, Uxie will look to just about get away, and he's got a perfect timing to just escape from Zevi here, who's definitely not going to risk running at him with the AWP, so Huxley is safe for now. But going back to what I was saying there, you know, G2, it looked like they had the perfect read. I mean, they knew it wasn't going to be outside. They were heavily manned towards the A site. They even had 2 players towards the ramp. They didn't move, but it's just spectacular entries from VSM, right? You know, running down, finding that double kill. G2 do nothing to stop it. They have a clear path down towards B, and the round is done from there. And G2, right now, they are getting outplayed by Fluxo. Fluxo have been the better team quite clearly, and you can see that once again we're going to see another tactical timeout call for G2 because they're getting it all wrong as of right now. And this is where you need to kind of rely on the heavy hitters. You need to rely on a Manesi to maybe pick up a round. You need to rely on Nico, you know, to come out with an insane multi-kill to try and stop them. You know, Hunter yet to register a kill. G2 not looking like themselves at all here on map 2.
Yeah, it's shocking. It is really shocking. I think we had expected this game to a little bit be over before it even began, right? Fluxo, sure, let's have some nice rounds. Let's have a bit more competition. Maybe get them closer to double digits on this map than they did on the previous. But yeah, the fact G2 are just not matching up. They look frustrated. They look lost in certain points, right? Coordination not quite there. And the nuke is lacking. And as you mentioned, this was once a great map for this team. It has been quite some time. Few changes in the roster. But even then, just on an individual level, they should be able to match up a lot better than they are. Munisi will open. It's a faster A play by the looks of things. Oh, but they bail off at the very last second there on the Fluxo side of things. Not sure I'm a massive fan of that. A lot of resources for no gain at all.
Yeah, I like that though. You know, to be honest, you know, you mightn't like it, but I enjoy that because I didn't think they were going to win any fight there out towards A. And sometimes you just kind of have to call a spade a spade. Just cancel it. Maybe try and approach it from a different angle. But the issue is, now that you've waited so long, now that you've kind of given away a few sound cues, G2 know what's coming. They've got Manesi in position. They've got Nexo up close. Hunter is even here as well with the SMGs. But Fluxo continue to throw the util and not commit off it. So burning a little bit more, heading all the way back, and is it going to be another fake as they try and push forward? Nexa wants a little bit of an information peek. He gets it, comes away with a single kill, but Fluxo, they've called out this rotation. It is all on Nico here, who is going to spot out two, needs to take PKL out of the heavens, but it's going to be Huxley to do that job, and now it's all on Zevi, and the round is unwinnable. Bomb stuck in the heavens. Zevi sent to T-spawn for the beginning of next round. G2 finally on the board.
Yeah, better late than never, I suppose. Better late than never. CT side is already in a position of, like, we're not happy with this, right? Really not good enough. Maybe they can even things up if they now turn it around in the biggest way possible, but this is obviously not looking good. One round is nice, but we're going to need a lot more than that before we start to believe in the G2 train. Maybe the switch up of sides will change things. However, they will need a nice, comfortable, I'd say 5 rounds at the very least to work with. Should be what they're aiming for here. But with the way that rounds have been going in recent memory, of course, G2 win 1 and immediately forcing Fluxo onto a difficult buy. Zevi has gone for the hero AWP and he's actually opened up with it. But the round itself, I don't see them being able to find very much.
I mean, unless Zevi goes absolutely nuclear. Now, they are actually going to ramp, which is huge. Because Nexa is completely alone. He's got no quick rotation. And you can get this kill and pick up a rifle. And then maybe begin to move. Pistol jumps out. Nexa gets away safely. Knows he has to play as safe as possible towards the ramp here. So he at least keeps himself alive. Gets that information for his team. And Fluxo, yes, they've gained a little bit of map control. But the map control isn't really going to do it for them. They need to find the kills on top of that. They continue to creep forward towards hell. They'll get a pistol into heaven at least. The Opposevi would love to take Nico out of this round if he can. But right now, Nico is being very evasive. Walking, spotting. Zevi does find that kill at least. That AK in VSM's hands. G2 now panicking a little bit. Try to get the util down to be in a safe position as possible, but Nex is hearing this. Look at this, the rotation is all the way down towards the B site. Hunter is going to be here. Nexa is going to creep out and at least drop one. The op needs to find a single kill, but the pistols and rifle ripped apart, the bomb down, and the round is over. A nice attempt when you have virtually nothing in that round from Fluxo, but man, G2 were just too fast.
Yeah, well held, well read, ultimately by G2 there. But decent damage done, right? This is one of the big things. Fluxo trying to stay hot on their heels. You can see where the money is at. They're going to have to drop some across. So we're going to have players like Nexa, like Hunter with way less cash than they would like. And therefore, if they lose this round, if there's no one saving, they're immediately back to square one, right? So there is no breathing room at all for G2. They have to keep winning. And even then, there's no guarantee of clean buys. So it really is not going to be a fun time for G2 for the remainder of this half. And Fluxo are seeing to that. Lukazi to find Hunter early on. Munisi trying to do the same outside, but I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. Also, interestingly enough, due to the last round, we have a double AWP setup for the T side of things. Man advantage secured for G2 in the interim, meanwhile. VSM, going to go creeping out. Nexa, kind of lucky there. That timing nearly got the better of him as he was quick switching away. Kills all over the shop right now, Jack. There is the 3 versus 2 in favor of G2, but it's a pretty difficult one to predict so far.
Yeah, you'd be better off probably picking a name out of a hat at this stage. I had no idea. It's been a topsy-turvy round. And it might have a few more turns in it, especially with Zevi just being on the mark with that AWP time and time again. Huxley has traded places with Che here for the moment, and this could be a big problem if Che doesn't catch the perfect timing, if he doesn't realise, and, well, he doesn't realise, gets blindsided, taken down in the back, and it is going to be now on the shoulders of the Opper, on the shoulders of Zevi to maybe get a 7th here for Fluxo. Huxley has vacated the premises as well. Very clever, giving up the bomb, repositioning. Makes Zevi waste a lot of time clearing out a lot of angles, and eventually Huxley will strike. The element of surprise working out in his favour twice that round as G2 now get on to 3, and more importantly, I mean, they absolutely smashed the banks of Fluxo.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one. It is a pretty big one into the tail end of this first half. Fluxo have hit the wall, so to speak. And thus, G2 are making use of that and closing the gap as best they possibly can. Still a little more work to be done, right? As I said, 5 minimum is what they really should be aiming for, but they'd obviously like to make it 6-6 and just give themselves a bit of confidence, taking them longer than they expected, longer than maybe anyone expected, even Fluxo in a sense, to feel out how this Brazilian squad like to play Nuke. Munisi will open us up here into round number 10. Looking good. Lukazi still got this AK in play, but not really seeing much action this far. Nex's position is so ridiculously cheeky. He was right there in the previous round, but they don't expect him for whatever reason. That is clean from Lukowski, though. And now we maybe have a round on our hands. VSM's recovered an M4, and this ramp area is under threat.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty dangerous when you've got Luca Ozzy just walking around the map giving skin fades to anyone who wants them. So this is a little bit of a problem here for Manesi. Doesn't want to overcommit into an angle. Even with that AWP, if Luca Ozzy is showing the mechanical ability that he's already shown in this round, that could be a big problem. Hunter sees nothing down towards B just yet as Fluxo begin to creep their way. They don't have a lot of util. I mean, they've won Molly, and I mean, you can Molly towards double here, probably your best option after you kind of contact in and clear it, and that's exactly what they're going to try and do. They spot out Hunter now in the process. Door is going to swing wide open. Hunter sees a little bit more, but eventually he's going to have to give this up. Manesi now creeping closer behind. Luca Ozzy is going to at least spot him. Fluxo, get the bomb down. Money injection, at least guaranteed for the next round, but they want a little bit more than that. They've got the rifles in play. They want to try and at least get a 7th here, if at all possible, but the peak's not coming in from the ramp just yet, and VSM getting very antsy on the top of the site. Well, his worries put to bed as it's down just to the IGL of PKL, but he won't be able to get the job done with just a deagle as G2 continue to mount this comeback.
Yeah, looking very, very good there. The retakes was something that they really struggled with in the early stages of this first half. I will say, you know, not looking super coordinated. Very, very worrying signs from them, but they took a couple of timeouts and they have since flipped that narrative, which is great to see. Still, Fluxo will have some confidence, will have a decent mental state, I think, moving into the second half in terms of, okay, we can do this, it is possible, etc., etc. So, very much looking forward to seeing what they can cook up on their own CT side. In the same vein, G2 appear to have woken up, appear to be getting their individuals activated. Of course, we had a couple players that were struggling with the frags, and that really seems to have turned around, to be honest.
Took them a little while, though. You know, it's a few motivational speeches or maybe some unforgiving words from Swanee to kind of get them into the mood of things. And well, we've seen Manesi now definitely getting into the swing of things, but he's in a sticky situation here, trapped towards back red, doing a lot of damage still with that AWP, and it's actually Nico's nade to finish off Luca Ozzy and get his opera away to safety. They're 2-man to the good, make that 3, and this is the G2 that we saw on Inferno. This is a whole lot better in this round. Fluxo, they didn't get a chance even to play out their game plan, and the plan B is a 2v5 from Che and PKL, and this is definitely looking out of the question, although there's a nice little timing here maybe for Che to gather as Hunter realizing the gaps in the hold. Never mind, Che taken down, good for nothing, and PKL, I mean, he's seen VSM do it twice, so you know, how difficult can it be?
I don't know, dog. From here, 40 seconds, you know. I'm not so sure. I think this is going to be a bit of a challenge. Yeah, Nico. Nico is on my side with the clean kill. The clean kill to finish it off. Yeah, but looking great. As you said, that was the G2 that we expected more of on Inferno. And we got it there, but we didn't really get it into the early stages of this game. So the nuke maybe needs some work in the G2 camp once they've woken up. And once they're playing, you know, a lot more aggressive, a lot more confident, taking the outside control. That is an area, really, I think, as well, where there are huge, huge subtleties and differences between this mid-level and the top level is the outside area. And it seems like Fluxo have really struggled since G2 have made that change.
The little adjustments definitely have worked well for G2 here. Che has crept out towards the vent. That flash pops right in his face. It actually hit him there. Makes it easy for Hunter to take him down. However, the vent dive will not be stopped. The bomb could go down here for free, and indeed it will be. G2 already put in a retake situation, but the issue is there's only 2 players below ground as of right now, and one of them has a Mach 10. One of the players that was trying to hold a rotate down towards the vent, he has been dealt with instantly. Molly's making things a little bit uncomfortable now here for G2. We'll throw a little bit of a lurk smoke and try and play around it. VSM now on the other side watches Hooksy jump on through, and he can just tell his teammates not to peek right now. He can wait for the perfect timing. He'll take down 2 of them on his own and look for a little bit more. Manesi down. VSM once again pulling out all the stops for Fluxo, as he will confirm a 7th round for them, swapping over onto that CT side. And it's a great job from them. You know, we spoke about how they just needed to not get stomped on that T side. Well, they've done better than that. They've come out, they've won it, and they've put themselves within a great position, maybe to cause an upset here on Nuke.
Yeah, I like what we're seeing. I really do like what we're seeing. There is great potential here for the side of Fluxo. Just edging out that lead as well is a really, really nice send-off to that first half. So we shall see if they can pick up the pistol. Maybe we start to believe in a 3rd map. G2, though, this is where they can also change things up, of course. T side, sure, it's not the strongest side of Nuke, but you get to dictate the pace, you get to dictate the fights a little better. That's obviously something they were really looking for into that tail end of the first half, let's say. Down in towards ramp, down in towards B here, not letting go of W. Hooksy just bouncing around, trying to find that entry. They've gained control of the B bomb site without finding a frag. First kill comes in, though, for Nexa, who is in that lurking position. He will manage to take down 1. Bomb going to get planted. Now the retake doesn't look so good, does it? Right, no kit available. Really not going to be easy here for the side of Fluxo.
Yeah, not at all. And I mean, if the initial fights don't go your way, even that dink onto Zevi might be enough for them to call it a day here. But they still want to walk forward, take a few fights, but only one of them goes your way, and Zevi gets out of there. G2 start well on their pistol at least. PKL is just trying to maybe make it at least a little bit expensive for G2, and he's done a good job of it. A few players rebuy armor. Hunter, though, will punish him for his sins. I don't know if he's going to be able to get his hands on Zevi. Hunter's a lucky boy to still be alive. He didn't have any armor there and nearly got blown to smithereens. But somehow still standing. And although, you know, if that round doesn't really go your way, it is still going to have to be the full buy from a lot of the G2 players. And in CSGO, you probably would have seen a CT side, especially a Brazilian CT side, force into this round. But the economy in CS2, not so forgiving.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it can really get away from you quickly is the big thing. Particularly when you're on that CT side. We'll sometimes still see a T side go for a force, right? Utility, you can get the execute, get a couple of kills, get a bomb plant. Maybe not win the retake, but you've still got a return on your investment, whereas on the CT side, it can be very tough, right? You just get enteried in by a bit of the peaker's advantage, particularly online, and suddenly there's not much you can do. Then you find yourself saving. You've given up a couple of rounds if it goes south, so just doesn't really make much sense. We saw it creep in towards the end of Go, didn't we? A lot more teams experimenting with the 3rd round rifle buy, and maybe we'd and ah because, you know, less utility, it's not as good. You might as well just stomach the force. The power of the force buy in CSGO was really effective, but as you've said, not enough rounds to play with in CS2.
I do miss it, though. I miss it a lot. Just those, you know, crazy hectic rounds that you just see players just, you know, running and jumping through smokes with SMGs. You know, made the game, you know, a little bit more fun, in my opinion. That's one thing I definitely miss. I do like the MR12, but at the same time, you know, you do have to say goodbye to some of your favorite crazy moments, maybe. But it means that, you know, nearly almost we're guaranteed a gun round by round 3, which wasn't always the case. Jay opting for the XM, which is getting a lot of light so far here today on Nuke. I mean, that's, I believe, the 3rd time we've seen it purchased. Jay,
yeah, pretty popular.
He wants to try and put it to good use. I mean, we've seen Hooksy rack up a few kills with it, and PKL will get the ball rolling in this first gun round, at least. Spam through the smoke, Nexa plays no further part. G2 now cut down to just the bare bones.
Pretty rough, pretty quick, to be fair. So a really great message here from the side of Fluxo to be sending early on. At G2, it is not going to be an easy ride if they are to take this 2-0. Wouldn't that be wild if Fluxo managed to drop the map? Munici's got other ideas. Great entry. A little bit more required, though, unfortunately. And Che going to start pushing in behind, so they will begin the containment on that CT side of things, but I don't think G2 are too bothered, making a lot of noise as they move downstairs. Nobody around to stop this bomb from going down. Tiny bit of utility remaining for G2 as well to maybe keep some of the areas locked off. And this is where it gets hard, man. A G2 T-side post plant, first one you've got to deal with. Yes, they are a man down, but this could be very, very difficult. You've got two of the best players in the world to deal with here. Huxi is not one of them. Behind the silo, he will be the first line of defense. And however, he might make me eat my words here. He does manage to find one. Nico, he's out for that trade. 2 versus 2, no kit available, and Fluxo call it off. And that's what I was talking about, man. Just a lovely little setup and not giving them anything until they fall into the trap.
Oh, poor Huxi catching strays
No,
on the retake.
It was right there, man.
I know,
it was right there.
Look, I would have been disappointed if you know, you didn't. So yeah, I mean, look, he still did his job. He managed to hold on. Always going to be difficult when you've no mollies, you've no HEs to, you know, maybe clear out a few positions, especially when you don't have a kit going into that retake scenario, because we know that B bomb site, it's an absolute nightmare trying to get back onto to kind of gain control. There's just so many angles, so many positions that T's can be hiding in, and it's just a big problem. This is a fast play out towards the A site, and already Nico's found one, Manesi with another, and it's falling apart here for Fluxo. Surely down to just Sevi. And he's got an AWP, but he's a million miles away, and Fluxo might just be a million miles away from this round as well.
Yeah, it feels that way a little bit, doesn't it? Zevi battling for survival. He might just get that chance, we'll see. Oh, there's the flash. Is there anyone to come through? No. So G2, I think, happy to let him hold and not give too many kills away. Munisi is on top of Marshmallow, just looking to track him. I think he's just dropped down a little bit there as well. So, yeah, there he is. Picked off, though. He makes a lot of noise on his way down. Is Nexer able to get this trade? Oh, is Hunter able to get this trade? Oh, God, what's going on? Oh, my God. That is so funny. Nexer, next one to fall, or will he find the kill? No, he goes down. All right, so fair play, Zevi. He's eliminated the entire G2 side there. And does manage to hold on to his AWP, as well as it's that damage, isn't it? So Fluxo actually a lot closer to breaking the bank than they maybe first bargained for.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, the damage isn't going to be that noticeable this round in terms of what G2 are going to buy, but the next round, for sure, man. I mean, that could be absolutely incredible. That's a great shot. I thought he was dead for sure there when Nexa hit him with that peak. But you know, you look at the money when G2 are going to buy up here. It's going to be 1,400 going into the bank accounts of every G2 player, and you know, it's not a lot at all. This really is such an important round for G2. They cannot afford to falter here. If Fluxo managed to take this one, G2 really could be in trouble. Fluxo could gain the lead, and we're getting down to, you know, the business stage here. You know, you cannot afford really to be losing these rounds, let alone get your money completely reset, because they could take the map with it. Right now, we see Fluxo trying to get to terms with this little bit of outside presence. PKL doesn't want to overcommit into an angle for obvious reasons. Manesi staring at him with the AWP. He does have a little bit of backup in terms of Zevi, who hasn't done too many things wrong. Let's see if the reaction is going to be there to take down Hunter, and it is Zevi with a fantastic opening kill. But Nico has found a little bit of a gap down secret to play with.
Lukowski seems to be aware. Not sure what Nico's going to be able to find down here. Taking his time. Oh, and the timing is the big thing, isn't it, really? If Lukowski misses him. Oh, I don't know if he saw him there. I don't think he did, you know. I don't think he did. So Nico is across. This could get very, very interesting from here on in then. Lukowski shadow spotted. Nico sees the arm. I'm going to get him on the swing as well. Lukowski none the wiser. 4 versus 4. PKL low. 20 seconds. So much panic now for Fluxo, isn't it? And all the kills start coming in. Oh, goodness. Just 2 remaining. Zevi going to have to go absolutely unbelievable from here. Misses the first shot. Lands his second, but loses his head immediately. Just Che remaining, and there's nothing he can do about this one. That is unbelievable timing and luck for Nico.
Oh, they're going to watch that back and be absolutely fuming that it's come down to, you know, that close of a margin. I mean, in a round that could really change the dynamic of this thing, could possibly lead to you actually taking the map. That happens. You get caught on one of the most unfortunate timings that I think I've seen in CS2 so far. That is just so unlucky for Fluxo. And then on the other side of things, you know, I don't know if G2 are able to get back into that round if Luca Ozzy has the information that Nico gets across. This is such a big kill because he secures all of B, and you put it perfectly. I mean, you could see the panic on the rest of the Fluxo players realizing, oh no, Nico's down B. They're probably going to be able to get down B. We don't know how many people are down. You know, to react off this, do we need to make a play? Do we need to drop a smoke and try and get down behind them? What can we do? Can we rotate down the vent still? We just don't know. And the panic set in. G2 were able to capitalize off it. And Fluxo now probably just taking a time out to just make sure that they have cool and calm heads going into the final rounds of this half. Maybe the final rounds of this game, because they really need it. They're still in with a chance, but I think that was the big one missed for sure.
Yeah, it's really going to be hard from here, I think, to find that mental fortitude. It's a lot to ask. It really is. G2 looking to continue the trend then. A lot of utility early on. Che, in between the fires, able to stay nice and cool. Nothing really coming off of that early utility then, just sort of feigning out the A control, I think, trying to draw them away from outside in particular. But what is the move? Looks to be a boost up. DSM, it's got to watch himself. Nice little jiggle peek means that he's able to stay alive. But they know that he's here now. Flasher's going to come round. Zevi left blinded. Ramp control, yep, taken nice and easy. PKL finds a cheeky one through the smoke, however.
That's a big kill to find, though. You shut down Nico, because he really could have caused problems if he got into the backline. Fox in the hen house, but not too fantastic this time around. Now, G2, they will double back and try and make a play towards A, but Fluxo, they've got so many bodies here. The flashes need to be pretty much perfect in order for them to get out. They maybe have to molly towards top put. Once that smoke comes in, Zevi wants to get down behind the site to make sure that he's not going to be blinded by too many flashes, but still it's going to be the contact in here from G2. Hunter's going to be spotted. Che finds a nice timing for at least one, and so far Fluxo, they're passing all the tests with flying colours. There's only 20 seconds for you to get out onto the site. Dodges the flash. Che takes him down, and Manesi surely says, yeah, no, I'm going to say no to this one and try and get out of here, but it's Manesi. You need to be worried about him even in a 1v4 situation. He's already found 2, but he just does not have the time in his favour. And that double kill looked nice, it was flashy, but now you're in real danger. You could go down and give away the op. No loss bonus either. Now the problems begin to arise for G2. Once again, the question becomes, you know, was the save just a better option there rather than the flashy play with very limited time left?
Yeah, they liked it a lot. They liked it a lot going for the aggressive plays and whatnot on the G2 side of things. It's tough. Probably going to have to concede this one. So it is going to come down to the wire at the very least in this game, right? We expected a level of competition. Fluxo definitely bringing it. Just really is a question of how G2 react. Their first timeout being taken. Interestingly enough, you know, they didn't really go for the timeouts in that first half. Just going with the flow, managed to bounce back. But into the second half, they're feeling the pressure a lot more.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look at this buy, man. This is all over the place right now. You've got a P250, attack 9, 2 Galils, and an AK. Your utility is limited to, you know, 1 or 2 players. This is horrible right now for G2, should they get this one wrong. And you're kind of gambling on, you know, your stars, your Manesi, your Nico, your Hunter, to get the job done with the rifles here. You have a chance to, you know, harshly reset maybe the money of Fluxo as well. Won't be a huge reset, but it will at least, you know, stump them a little bit in terms of what they can buy. Right now, Huxi, he's just going to creep his way down secret, followed of course by his teammates. The bomb on his back, Nexa with a pinch towards the ramp maybe a little bit later on. The issue is, it's the IGL, it's PKL here alone, and he wants to play this as safe as possible. That nade, oh, it doesn't do as much as I thought it was. Luca Ozzy though finds Nexa, and now Shirley gives a warning sign to PKL.
Nice shot from Zevi. Oh, looking very good here for Fluxo, man. Oh, G2. They do not find a single kill. No bomb plant. Money in the bin. This is a disaster. An absolute disaster. This... I cannot begin to fathom what is running through the G2 minds at the moment. They have to pull something out of the bag, and it's definitely not going to be in this round, is it? Right? So it'll be in the next one. If that. You know, the buy in the next really not going to be fantastic. They've just been absolutely picked apart. Running out of ideas, maybe, on the T side? What do you think?
Ooh, I mean, it's looking like it. I mean, some of the rounds that they've won in recent memory, they've got very fortunate, you would say, to actually win. Nico does manage to come away with a kill here with just a block, but that's going to be about the height of it. Fluxo, they've, man, all credit to them. They've got back into this game. They've got onto level terms. They've worried G2 completely. You can see that in the way that they're playing. You know, they are not comfortable whatsoever. The problem is that they're giving away too many entries. You know, the likes of Zebi with that AWP has been too much of a, you know, he's been too hot to handle with that up. He has very rarely put a foot wrong. And when they find that opening kill, Fluxo, they turtle up or play with the buddy system so that they're, you know, nearly impossible to trade out. Even if you get one, you won't get the second. G2 now down to one of the last real goes at it. You've got another roll at the dice to try and make sure that you can get yourself back into the lead. But if this doesn't go your way, 100% we need to consider Fluxo maybe taking this to a map 3.
It's possible. It is possible. What we thought would be totally out of the question. It does seem that their domestic knowledge of the map, domestic practice has been enough. VSM for the double spray down from on high in the rafters. Che striking true as well. Molotov will keep the rest of the squad at bay. Flanking from behind. G2 are just being beaten down on all sides right now. Not a chance. Nico not fast enough to take out Zevi. And Fluxo have gained the lead right at the tail end. Very cleanly. Plenty of cash. G2 the complete opposite. Wow, this is mind-blowing stuff.
I mean, after it's night and day compared, you know, Inferno to Nuke, right? I mean, we know, of course, it wasn't Fluxo's map pick, but we weren't expecting this, were we? We weren't expecting, you know, Fluxo to be as competitive, to dominate, you know, this game in positions, especially on the T side, man. They started so well, and now they've got an opportunity to get on to 12-10. This should be a pretty straightforward round, but G2 and their set pieces, you just cannot rule them out. As they look to head towards ramp, how about this for a HE? Lands right on top, shrapnel into nearly every single player, and VSM is just going to tuck himself away, allow PKL just to pick it up. He'll get a molly down, but the pistols are already gotten past it, but that is Hoopty with the bomb. Nexit claims at least one, but PKL doing a good job just to hold on for now, but all of a sudden, as the smoke begins to fade, Che and Luca Ozzy are the only two Fluxo players left standing. The damage has been done to the T side for sure, but the kills just not there for the CT side. And Che has to try and make a play here. Pushes, clears out the door. Now realizing heaven might be wrapped upon. Nico with the trade. It's absolutely huge for G2's chances of staying alive and tying this game up once again. But Luca Ozzy could steal the show.
Oh, that timing is ridiculous. Absolutely unbelievable. Nico in for the 1 versus 1 here. Trying to move out quickly. Lukazi not got his gun on, but he's just too hard to pick off. A huge 1 versus 2 for Fluxo. And you can see what it means. You can see how they feel. But yeah, like I said, the timing insane. m0NESY faked, watch for it. And just as he pulls that bomb back out to get the plant, thinking that there's no one heaven, that's when Lukazi comes out. You couldn't write it, man. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
I mean, you know, and he deserves it as well, because it was him that was caught in the timing with Nico down towards Secret. So, you know, it's perfectly balanced, as all things should be. You know, what you miss on the swings, you make up on the merry-go-round, and that's exactly what happens. Here, Fluxo, 12-10, a decent buy for G2. They have all the utility in the world. They'll have absolutely no excuses in this round, but they need to try and find that open duel. And look at VSM, he's already pushed all the way deep in towards lobby. He's found that opening kill. He's called that it's clear. Fluxo have all the information and more in this round on top of a man advantage.
Mental. Absolutely mental stuff. Are Fluxo going to do it here? Hunter hidden out on top of Mini. It seems like they are aware of him. 2 players watching for that angle. Hoping somebody walks into his crosshair, but surely Fluxo going to play nice and safe. Hunter drops down, smoke dissipates, and Lukazi finds his frag. 3 more to go. Zevi looking to get one in his sights. Actually going to drop back. Oh, could get a bit weird. Does take the repeat and find the frag, but is there any more to come? Does not seem that way, and Zevi's actually opted to push forwards through the Molotov. m0NESY, speaking of pushing forwards, is going to make his way out on towards A. Curiously enough, with only 2 of them here, they've actually got the A control. They've actually got space to get the bomb down. So that's certainly interesting, but winning out the round is obviously a completely different question. m0NESY moves back towards Hut, waiting for the aggression to come this way. What is the move? Oh, Zevi will find the frag. And that is going to be that, Jack. Fluxo have done it. Taking Nuke. Taking us to a third. As close as it comes, though. 13-10. Definitely a hard-fought battle, but really well fought by the Brazilians there. I don't think anybody had really given them the credit that they deserved on Nuke. And yet, they managed to get it over the line. Crazy.
Insane. Absolutely insane there from Fluxo. You know, even with that 100% win percentage that we were talking about, like, it's so difficult to kind of transfer over from different regions. You know, domestically is a completely different ball game when you're playing the ranked 6th team in the world. It's completely different. But they came out, absolutely stole the show on their T side. G2 were panicked from the get-go, couldn't really get to terms, managed to make it a little bit respectable by picking up 5 rounds before we swapped over. But when it really came down to it, to be honest, Fluxo were the better team. You know, on that CT side, G2, I think you put it perfectly. I think they ran out of ideas. They were relying on, you know, kind of the hero plays from the likes of Nico when he got in the back line and caught a timing down towards Secret. That was one of the rounds that kind of saved them a little bit. But in the end, to be honest, it wasn't enough, and you just got outplayed by, you know, a well-drilled Brazilian side.
Yeah, really focusing on their own game, which I think is what we said they needed to do. So very, very good stuff from Fluxo. Now we move on to Ancient, which is going to be our next map. And I think it is another map that is not as up in the air, but, you know, it's another decent map for Fluxo. It's a middle ground map for G2, but again, at a certain point on the sort of previous iteration, they were really, really enjoying this one. So it is going to be a challenge once again for Fluxo, but they've just done it on Nuke. Maybe they can do it again. We've got to take a time out, though. We've got to take a break before we get there. So stick with us about 10 minutes or so once again, and we should be back into that third map. See you in a few.
boring case openings? Do you always get only cheap skins? The Hellcase website has tons of options to upgrade your inventory. It's up to you to participate in giveaways, events, or compete with other players in opening cases. Hellcase, your world of expensive skins.
Watch the matches with bo3.gg, the official stats partner of CCT. Check out AI-powered predictions in live matches. Get access to live scoreboards packed with in-depth weapons and grenade statistics. Check out round maps in the match results. Extend your game vision with bo3.gg.
Yo, what are you doing?
Exhibit.
What do you think? I'm a paperclip? It's Mr. X to the Z. You need to quit browsing like a lame and get Opera GX. Because with GX mods, you can pimp your motherfucking browser. All you gotta do is click here, select the mod, and boom! New look, new sounds, new everything. It's not easy being a legend. Oh, shit. Not again. Change the mod now. Download Opera GX.
The champion of champions.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to another episode of the CCT podcast.
We've got a ton to talk about, man. There's just so much action.
It feels like it's never ending.
Hey guys, we have another interview for you today. Very special guest, Speedy.
First, a funny thing, they also call me grandpa in my team because I'm so old. And
What are your general thoughts on what might come for the next couple of months of CS2?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are very close to getting underway with what will be a deciding map between G2 and Fluxo. Not very many people would have had this on your bingo cards for sure, but I'm excited to be here, and I know you are too, Harvey. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Fluxo can bring to the table. But my main question is, and I'm going to throw you under the bus here, do you think they can get it done?
No, I don't think so, right? G2 very, very close on Nuke there, to be honest with you. It was just that early portion, right? The run of sort of 6 rounds in a row for Fluxo made the big difference. I think it just took a bit too much time for G2 to get a feel for how Fluxo were playing, to get themselves off the ground, right? Maybe expecting an easier rollover, just because of the way the first map went, the way they were feeling over there, and particularly those rifle rounds on the first map were incredibly dominant. So I reckon, you know, G2 were like, okay, once we get the guns out, guys, we'll be fine. And then they weren't. So it was something difficult for them to deal with. Also, no timeouts in that first half, which I think leaves us a tad bit confused. So based on that, I don't see that kind of thing happening again, to be honest with you, right? And Ancient, I would argue, is a better map for the current iteration of G2 anyway. Obviously next is the newer edition, but let's sort of leave that to the side. In recent memory, past sort of 6 months or so, Ancient's been pretty good. So yeah, I think they should be in a really good spot here on the G2 end.
I think so, but I'm gonna have to go against you a little bit here. I'm always gonna,
really?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to root for the underdogs here. Yeah, man. I mean, Fluxo did deserve to be on a deciding map, and I'd hate to see this last map kind of be an absolute blowout, because I don't think they deserve that, to be honest. After, you know, you're fighting against one of the top teams that is gonna, you're probably gonna play all year, maybe even, you know, one of the top teams that you're gonna play in your career. So, you know, it's deserving that we go all three. And I'm just hoping we see a competitive map. Even if it's like Inferno, you know, I'd love to see another thing like Nuke as well, that it's, you know, kind of back and forth, kind of tit for tat, if you will. But it, as you said, it's going to be so tough. This is a much better map for G2. The previous iteration of them, you know, Nexa coming in, he should be able to slot in nicely into the way that they play. And I believe we are going to slot nicely into our third and final map. We are getting going with this decider. Knife round taken?
I believe so.
By Fluxo?
I did have a small panic, but I think looking at where... Or are we doing knife round now? Okay, we're doing knife round now. It's just a little... Alright, yeah? What's going on? Alright, maybe even the players don't quite know. So we're halfway live. We're halfway live. Unless this is some kind of crazy troll round from Fluxo where they're just, you know, gonna make them wait for it. I feel like Fluxo might have already won the knife and we're just waiting for things to reset officially and properly. You can sort of already see, you know, Fluxo have got a load of kills and everything. PKL went absolutely nuts by the looks of it with 3 kills on the knife. So good for him. There we go. All right, reset coming in. And it will be G2 to start off on that T side, Fluxo on the CT. So we're all good. Making sense. Moving into the gameplay. And I really don't know. I think G2 should be able to take this one. But with Fluxo on the CT side, they looked decent, didn't they? In that second half of Nuke, their CT end really got going.
Yeah, I think what's going to be important is if they can keep Zevi on form, if they can keep, you know, VSM coming out with insane multi-kills, that's going to be obviously a big bonus. More importantly, keeping G2 quiet, keeping, you know, the heavy hitters of G2 quiet early on. I think that's going to be massively important to Fluxo and their chances here. Hunter exploring out towards middle, not going to see all that much, and he's going to get into the back lines for free. So Fluxo, they are on a timer. They need to kind of realize that this is a massive possibility here. The execute does come over. Zevi in position. He's already locked in 2 kills, and it's Nico and Manesi taken out of this pistol round. He's looking for a little bit more. Dinks up Nexa in the process as well. Zevi is doing this pistol pretty much on his own, as Hunter, he was in a great position to cause a few problems. He picked up 1 kill, but it's looking like it is going to be worth absolute zilch.
Oh my goodness! Hunter! Hello? What has he just done? There's no way. Oh my goodness, Lukazi denies him, but what a run of frags. That was crazy. The one spin was enough. But finding those 2 follow-ups had me going. Definitely got the heart racing for a minute there.
My mouth was open, catching flies there, looking at my monitor. I don't know. I've absolutely no idea how he's managed to find 3 just like that. That is ridiculous. But Fluxo, they managed to get that one over the line just about. But it's a lot more expensive than they would have hoped for. However, it is just the pistols here from G2. Hunter, of course, with all those frags, he's going to be able to purchase himself up a Deagle. And I mean, if he can hit shots with the Deagle like he can do the Glock, we're in for an absolute spectacle.
PKL playing up close here. We've got a lovely little setup from Fluxo. Should be nigh on impossible to get through this, particularly no flash for G2. Just a matter of waiting. They're going to try and overwhelm these angles, I would imagine. Question is, will it be in the near future, or are they going to sit here for like another 30 seconds before they decide to make a move? I think they might just be sitting here, unfortunately. So it's going to take some time before we see any action. I hate to say it, folks. And I also hate to say it'll probably be Fluxo just mowing them down. So I think it will be a bit anticlimactic as well.
You never know. Especially with Hooksy jumping through as the human flashbang, if you will. But instead he just runs right into the blender. 1 kill is at least something. If Hunter can get away with a little bit more damage, that would be massive. But wishful thinking. You lose an SMG, you win the round pretty cleanly. So far so good from Fluxo. Let's see what G2 though have to offer on this first buy round. No op out just yet for either side. Money just unfortunately will not allow it, so we'll have to wait for that big green battle, which so far has kind of lived up to it. Of course, we've had Manesi and Zevi in the head-to-head, and they've given us some very interesting duels, and you know, we were expecting Manesi to dominate. Zevi has definitely held his own.
He's done okay. He's done okay. Manesi, as I would say, looked like the best G2 player across the course of the series, but Zevi has not been absolutely ruined by him. Nico, edge of the smoke here. A little bit funky. Will manage to find one. Traded out quickly, though. Who is that really going to benefit? Hooksy, meanwhile, out towards middle. Clean frag onto Zevi. Does get caught a little unawares there, I think it is safe to say. Meanwhile, the A-hit going to come round. VSM boosted up on the MP7. Looking good on the default skin, I have to say. There's a slight difference, isn't there, on the default skins? It's kind of cool. But he can't find any kills with it, so it looks like the round should be going the way of G2. Che trying to make himself known and splits the targets down the middle. Nexa left on 1 HP. Doesn't make a difference in the end. G2 will get that first rifle.
Yeah, I think the round was pretty much over, especially when was it Zevi that ran in towards just in towards middle, just absolutely no idea what was actually happening. Yeah, that's a big problem, right? I mean, you just get caught completely unaware. You could have went for a little bit of a jump spot, maybe you would have got that information, but not really thinking so clearly, and in the end it ends up costing you a lot of map control and indeed in turned around. Nothing saved for the side of Fluxo. They do have enough money in a few places if they were willing to risk it all to go for the force. It's not looking like it is going to be viable though, and Zevi toying with the idea of purchasing a hero rifle, and in the end he decides that he is going to do it. And in the end not, so refunding that purchase before the round ticks on too long. It's just the pistols on the opponents of G2 for now, as they're playing very, very passively. Don't want to risk running into a nasty little crossfire, especially maybe up towards Cave. And Fluxo, a heavy rotation here towards this A side and in towards Donut.
Hunter and Nexa on the entries. Oh, there you go. There's a little bit of a trade out from Lucasi, but the round itself is secured thanks to the donut play. Just missed a PKL. Capitano looking to maybe find a frag on the way out. Oh, there you go. All right. Surely goes down here in just a moment, though. At the very least, they know where he's at, so they should just be able to like rush in towards B, get the plant, get the round, etc., etc. But you know, we're liking the damage when you've got the minimal investment, for sure.
Well, we could get a little bit more here. Timing unfavourable to Hooksy. Doesn't matter though, he was wayward with the shot. Hooksy toying a little bit with him. It is only a matter of time before Manesi drops him from behind here, surely. Quite aware. We had a few chances at it as well. Spray not perfect and not clean this time around. But it won't matter. 2-2. Little bit of damage. And we do see Zevi purchase up an AWP and Manesi the same. Utility going to be light on the opera, of course. Manesi has a lot of luxury around him, can set his teammate up for a lot of plays with those flashes as well. It's going to be interesting to see where Che wants to position himself with that SMG. I believe he's heading out towards middle, as it's an aggressive take here from Fluxo. They need to be careful though. Look at the shell play coming in here from Nico, in position maybe to find a kill, and he does find one. Knows maybe VSM is going to be stuck in here towards the corner, and eventually he just gets overwhelmed. 2 kills to the good, an open route to this A bomb site, and Fluxo need to maneuver in order to make sure that they do not lose control of this round.
They're going to guess correctly. It looks like they will, slowly making their way to B. A lot of noise being made on A, but they are not buying it. So directly a 3 versus 3 here. This could be very large indeed. Want to see the contact entry. Shadow going to be spotted. Lucasi's got a nasty angle and he's not dropped off it just yet. Really going to be difficult to deal with. Support coming in. There is the flank. PKL falls. 40 seconds left as well, by the way, so they have plenty of time to change things up. Didn't necessarily commit the bomb in, leaving Nico on a lurk. Look at this HP as well, man, or the lack thereof. 47 to work with between the two of them. Nico going to make mincemeat out of these remaining two players. I think Lukazi will just hold this up, actually.
If he's so lucky. I mean, Nico looking for the peak. He nearly gets stuck on the door as well. Fortunately, he does get away. It's only a matter of time, though, before he is going to be surrounded and indeed dropped. Huxi making sure that he is not going to be comfortable, and it's even going to be Nico with the AWP to seal that third round in the books for G2. Money an issue for Fluxo once again, and it was looking like, you know, maybe there was a chance the Fluxo were going to take that, but if there wasn't as much time left, 100%, but as you pointed out, you know, with 40 seconds, once you realize that, you know, the stack is going to be there when you spot 2 out of the 3 players that are left alive, and you've got Huxi in that position towards middle, just call the rotation, just go back towards A and hope that you can take the fight there. That's exactly what they did. They come away with yet another round. This one should be a whole lot easier.
Mac 10 trying to entry in. Just have to be a little careful here. There's a decent chance that Huxi goes down, actually. A lot of players. Ooh, round this corner. Taking a jump peek. Needs a flash. There it is, but they've dropped away. So, we're being teased here, guys. There it is. Zevi eventually finds the action. Double dink for him. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this, man. It's so tentative. Nice shot from m0NESY on the AWP, of course. But just... for a minute there were a lot of bodies on B. They've actually drawn away. And it seems like G2 are picking them apart, but that was a little tense.
I always get nervy when you see people walking in towards Cave and Cheetah with on the other side there's pistols. Yeah. When you've got m0NESY, it does get a little bit easier, especially when he hits a shot straight off the rip like that. PKL playing no further part in this round. Nico nearly caught in the timing, unfortunately. At this stage, you're just trying to scavenge what you can from this round if you're Fluxo. But not really too much going to be on offer here, unless Che catches Nexa trying to rotate away from the bomb. And if you can, you know, take a weapon or two away, do a little bit of damage, it's going to help, of course. But in terms of what G2 have brought to the table in these last 4 rounds, has been pretty solid. Nice shot from Che. Gets another one as well. m0NESY takes down Hunter. This is getting very expensive for G2. And to be honest, Che can be very happy with the way that went.
Timeout for Fluxo. I think they need to absolutely use this springboard. But G2 are still in a fantastic position. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's looking good, isn't it? It's looking good. I think the G2 attack is way more comfortable than it ever was on Nuke. They are just in a much, much better position on this map. Bit more control, bit more opportunity to take the fights. Hunter is just flying right now. Couple players again on 0 kills. I don't know what is going on in this series, but it does seem like every map had a player that's really, really struggling.
Yeah, not too often you do see that either. You know, maybe you see at least, you know, 1 or 2 kills, but not the donut, unfortunately. I'm not talking about the position towards A. Zevi up close with the AWP is going to back off that angle. m0NESY was creeping maybe to find that peak. But instead, Zevi backs away to safety. Needs to be good on the first test here. Double scope wants to get aggressive. Dodge the flashes, gets in front of it. Legs m0NESY, but it's not going to be enough to find the kill. The A bomb site completely overwhelmed here by G2. And you're open for a little bit of damage, and maybe a fortunate kill through the smoke. But look at this, G2, they want to continue to push past, they want to take that donut control, and they want to take the weapons away from Fluxo. The comfortability is absolutely amazing here from G2, as they are really showing Fluxo who's boss now.
Yeah, it's getting a bit scary, to be honest with you. If G2 can keep this up, we are potentially in for another very one-sided half. Of course, Fluxo, yes, 2 rounds, but that comes off the back of the pistol. When it's come to the rifles, G2 have been absolutely unstoppable. That may well continue. Hunter, he's so clean right now, man. Just PKL to survive. Ooh, just able to do so. All the same, only having the 1 rifle there really does make a difference. They probably just go for a half by now rather than dropping across and managing a force. That would be a bit silly if they go for it here.
Would be a little bit ridiculous, alright. Now, it's all well and good, you know, saving these rifles and being at least, you know, somewhat competitive in terms of, you know, getting G2 down to maybe 1 or 2 players, but you need to start picking up rounds, and that really needs to start now. Che, opening frag found, but instantly traded back to a low HP Nico, relying on his utility to get that one back for his team. SM has a lot of information here up towards A at least. He's got a very deep position here, but Fluxo's still not too comfortable about it. They're so cautious about middle and donut. No idea what's going on, and they're hearing little pieces of pressure across the map. Luca Ozzy wants to go for that information. Manesi under pressure. Finds that kill, settles himself for the moment, but he's out in no man's land, and Zebi deals with him. Nexa on a timer as well, 45 seconds, and PSM now behind him, blindsides him, bomb down, and Nico now has to steal the show in this round back.
Easier said than done, my good sir. Yeah, 30 seconds to recover the bomb. Just so many angles to get through here. Maybe if he was healthier. It's just the fact that he's low HP, right? These kills have to be nigh on perfect. Drop down, that's going to be known. Trying to get the pre-fires here onto the player in towards red room. Oh, it takes even more damage. Probably just wants to try and go down before time at the end of the day. Decent little nade. But can't win out the fight. Fluxo finally back on the board. It has taken them a long time. And funnily enough, it comes off the back of a weird little buy, right? Which I always say the rules of engagement are slightly different in those types of rounds. Can be hard to replicate that kind of energy into an actual fully fledged gun round. So yes, I might be being negative quite quickly. I am not holding my breath on this one as to the G2 return round, to be perfectly honest.
It's a fair point, but at the same time, you know, you do get a little bit of a money cushion. You can see the bank balance of Fluxo built up a little bit. So even if this round does go awry, you at least almost guarantee yourself a decent enough buy in the next. PKL would have loved to find that kill. Does enough damage to Nico, but not able to land the finishing blow. Nico has created a lot of space for his team here, but his team are the other side of the map completely. Nico now surely is going to be found out. Che and Luca Ozzy making it their mission to take him out of the round, but easier said than done. Nico with a second, Nico with a third, and he's won G2 a 6th round on his lonesome.
And there it is, right? You put him in these angry situations, he's going to wake up. He's frustrated that he wasn't getting the peaks in the previous round. Well, he's going to force the occasion in this one and, yeah, remind you who's in charge around these parts. Absolutely brilliant stuff, isn't it? And as I said, the return round, the bounce back, really solid from G2 as expected.
He's not even satisfied either. he wants a little bit more, wants to take the weapons away. Of course, the same with Manesi, and well, they found out at least one of the players, both of them reside here. And do you risk it? Do you send 1 or 2 players through the smoke? Nico's going to die to the bomb anyway, but I mean, your money isn't perfect either. You want to make sure that, God forbid, if you come up short in the next 2 rounds, you at least have something to play around with in the final. 6-3, so far so good from G2. Man, they're looking a lot more comfortable than Nuke, it has to be said. This is shades of Inferno for sure on map 3. And doing it without Nex's real help. Right now he is struggling to get on the board, struggling to get into the game, but it's all well and good when your teammates are doing the work for you.
Yeah, I mean, true. To be honest. And there's probably just a few rounds in there. You know, he's only died 6 times, which is sort of the average on the team. There's probably a few rounds in there where it's like he's just not seen anyone,
yeah.
You know. And yeah, why get in the way as well? Kind of put your ego aside and be like, all right, it's maybe a bit of a rough start for me, but Nico and Hunter are sort of taking over. So rather than me trying to force them into situations they don't like just so I can get a kill, you just kind of have to ride this one out. All about winning at the end of the day. Yeah, no, people don't get annoyed at a goalkeeper for good defense type thing, and them not having to do very much. PKL, speaking of defense, not a bad look for him. Oh, this could get a bit weird. Lovely little cave smoke there is going to keep these 2 players in that cave area at bay. I'm going to try and boost above it. They've missed the window, though, to really take anyone out at this stage. Oh, a bit of spam through the wood is quite clean, and down goes Nexa eventually. Decent nade on his way out, but it's a man advantage for Fluxo, right? We are liking the look of this retake. They just have to wait patiently on the G2 side of things. Great flash comes around. Not quite going to fully blind them up just yet, and it's Munisi and Nico to get through in a 4 versus 2. They very quickly evened it down to a 2 versus 2. Not a lot of time left on the bomb. Munisi really just needs to find one of these kills and then play it safe, or both. That works as well. Wonderful stuff from Munisi. He will secure number 7 for G2.
I mean, if you're full of confidence, why not? Let's just take both peaks. You know where both of them are. You know where both of them are coming from. And if you can make it look as easy and as clean as that, why not? Manesi getting that one over the line. Huge for G2. And, oh, I love the look of this. This is going to be a fast B play here from G2. This is something that they haven't done. Changing up the tempo completely. 3 players towards B are going to have to get their money's worth here to try and stop this, and Zevi has at least stopped the first man in his tracks. Hunter going to jump on through. So far the defense being put up is excellent, as everyone coming away with a kill, but when you've Nico in around, that's when it gets dangerous. But for G2, sadly, it's only Nico left in this round, and he burns away, helping chip that further and further down to just 5 HP. And we've seen some mental stuff from this man, not only in this game, but in the past as well. This one would definitely top it all if he's able to do it on 5 HP, but I'm a non-believer.
Yeah, you and me both. However, he may well have a slim window, very slim indeed. Just gets that timing to get across. Should be able to find a bomb plant then. Especially now as Zevi has fully committed in. Nico reset the game back down to the neutral. Surely unable to find this, but if he can even just, you know, find another kill, make it costly enough for the CT side. Not going to happen. Lovely little 2-man play there to just keep him distracted. And that will be the 4th for Fluxo, picked up in pretty good fashion.
You get that one done, you pass that test. It's always nervy, you know. We can see what's coming before the round actually happens, when we seen it was going to be a fast speed play. But once you kind of stop that first man in, it just gets a whole lot easier really to try and contain. Because if Hooksy gets past there, he just gets in the face of one of your rifles maybe, and finds that kill, creates a lot of space for the other SMGs and the rifles coming up the ramp. But Fluxo doing a good job here. They'd absolutely kill for a 7-5 half, to be honest. It wouldn't be perfect, but it'd be a lot better than an 8-4 for sure. This time, G2, no messing about once again. It's looking like they're setting up straight away for an A execute with a little bit of a hunter pinch.
Yeah, much faster on the A setup as well than they have been in the previous rounds, so it's something to catch Fluxo off, really. First kill going to come in towards middle, though, for Zevi. VSM's got a decent amount of support as well, right? You have to look at the players moving in towards middle, obviously the one in cube here, so A bomb site not super vulnerable, to be honest with you. Deep smoke in towards that cube area. It's nice, but you have to go quickly with that, right? Because as you can see, they've just run through it like they don't care. So you still have to deal with the two players. 4 on 2 now. Just one. Odyssey has chimed in, but he's going to have to do that a few more times. Got a bomb to recover. Tries to find timing on that shot. Not going to work for him. Spots out one. Ready for the player in Donut. Nobody giving him the peek, though, right? They're all respecting him. Want to see a fair bit. There's the overface from Zevi. Nice little shoulder peek coming round. He's going to get that too. 7 HP now is all he has to play with. Lucazi quaking in his boots. These are the Munisy moments that we know he can pull off. Still has to get that bomb, though. That's the one big thing here. 25 seconds to do so and just waiting for the nervousness to set in. He's trying to stay cool. He's trying to make Lucazi doubt himself. And you know what? Lucazi is changing angles, changing spots. Munisy might be able to get the backstab on him. Will he expect him in the corner? Oh, no, he doesn't. And Lucazi takes him down, winning out that game of wit. 7-5 then. A nice little recovery from Fluxo right at the end of that first half.
I feel robbed. I feel robbed of some Munisy magic, because that's not the first time that we've seen him just so close to pulling off an amazing clutch. But Fluxo, they just don't give him the peaks. Maybe they do initially, but, you know, in the end of it, just that game of wits, yeah, dead right, coming down to Fluxo coming out on top. And now, Fluxo have themselves in an alright position. I mean, I wouldn't be singing about it, for sure. But you've got a chance. Your T-pistols have usually been solid. Maybe, just maybe, we're going to see more of the same here. Everybody grouping up towards B. 2 flashes, a smoke, and a molly. And 3 players on the side of G2 now to defend. But the flash in hand that's going to pop above Munisy at any given moment. He's going to wait, he's going to call for it, and it's only a matter of time before it pops, but instead he gets completely blinded. Now Nexus swings out, has to get in on the action, and he will do so as G2 push past those smokes and they push through Fluxo on that pistol.
Big round, very big round indeed. Obviously G2 come away with the lead after that first half, but now expanding it, looking really, really good while doing so. Very much looking forward to these next few rounds. What have Fluxo got in store for us, right? That is the big question. They opted potentially to go in for a bit of a half buy, but few undos in places, so we end up with a P250 and a flash. Not really expecting a great deal out from this round then.
Make it competitive if you can. Luxido should be able just to farm up a decent amount of cash, and if he doesn't, Hunter will. And before Fluxo can even react, Hunter has cut their team apart. 4 kills, 6k in the bank for himself. He can maybe drop one or drop an op over to Munisy if he wants. If he wants to be that guy, if he wants to be that helpful teammate to make sure Munesy's money is kept as high as possible. They're gonna opt for the rifles here instead. No op just yet. 9-5 G2. Really beginning to show their teeth here. And I expect absolutely nothing less from this going round.
Well, entry frags coming through. Quick 1-for-1 towards middle. Probably benefits the T side more than anything, especially with it being so early on in the round. Look, see? Oh, going a bit wacky. I think they were relatively blind, but a couple targets to pick from, and Flash not super effective. Honestly, trying to find the angle, but unable to do so. So therefore, Fluxo with a man advantage here in the first rifle.
Percentage play maybe being called here for G2 as well. Just gamble, stack a sight, hope for the best. You know, you do have a few rounds to kind of play around with, so if you do get it wrong, you at least have that. But G2, they want to get aggressive here. They want to look for this information. Luca Ozzy's going to be coming back. That's absolutely huge. Nico's found a double, and all of a sudden, this round flipped on its head, all thanks to Nico. Going to be caught on the retreat as Che now has to come up with a 1v3 of his own, but Nexus says absolutely no more. Took him a while to get into the game, but big kills on the pistol, and a big final blow landed in that round there. And it's looking like G2 might be just putting the finishing touches on their first victory as a full 5.
Alrighty. Pressure on. Pressure on. Fluxo in with another pause. Money getting away from them. Half buy into this round. So G2 in a perfect spot from here on in. I mean, it's even a surprise that we made it this deep into the series, to be fair. But if Fluxo can keep this one going, I think we'll be very impressed with their performance.
100%. I mean, take nothing away from them. Even to get to a third map, a decided map, is a massive result for Flux. So, you know, they're coming here. That's going to fill them for confidence for the next. Hunter, though, is going to try and take some of that confidence away and just try and shut down this set piece here maybe early on. Big nade as they try and cross. The bomb is already here. No kills actually landed just yet. VSM eventually finds the first, and that's Nico. But look at the amount of control that Fluxo have. Luca Ozzy, that's a big risk, and he will not be rewarded.
Still, though, we're liking this spot. Oh, no. Yeah, he knew, didn't he? Zevi was like, oh, man, I'm not close enough, but I need to try and take this opportunity. Nice little force of a frag there. Che not fancying his chances, however. He's going to grab the M4 and just get the hell out of dodge. So the round will be given across to G2. Could have been big. Zevi on the backside. It's just unfortunate. It's that one time where it's like, you know, you bought up a Tech 9, but you'd love a Deagle. And, yeah, just quite... out of the range, out of the optimal range for that Tech 9. Unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, with the hitboxes the way they are, man.
Also true, he was turned around, wasn't he?
Yeah, you could see it in him. He was just like, oh no, please no. But I have to help my teammates, so I have to take the shot. Yeah. I have to roll the dice, and Snake Eyes. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. You've got to buy back here, but it's one of your last chances. Aggressive play out towards middle. Che burning and a Molotov still coming away with the kill, but Manesi with the trade, spotting out VSM as well. And Manesi wants this fight. He wins it, but the reload might just cost him here. Swaps over, missed shot from Zevi. And are we seeing the final nails being put into the Fluxo coffin, sending them down to the lower bracket? Still one more round after this, but G2, they have just looked so comfortable, not only on the CT side, but on this map as a whole. They've bounced back completely when they needed it to, and for it really just stopped themselves from being embarrassed with this full new 5. And it is just really the difference between the two teams. I mean, you know, the tier 1 experience coming into play a little bit. A more comfortable map. Fluxo still looking for something to take away here.
Saving, I think, sir. Yeah, that was the flash of non-commit I'm gonna see on the backside. Oh, he spotted him. It's enough time for the rest of the boys to get in. Yeah, just get all the nades out, you know, take them down. Oh god, PKL. This is not a nice spot to be in. Absolutely ruined. Fire everywhere. Nades raining in. Yeah, an onslaught to make sure there's no saving going on. They will be able to buy up, but it takes a bit of a hit for sure, right? Would have been nice to have a full belt of utility. All the same, not looking great, is it? 7 rounds going to be required here from Fluxo. That's more than they have picked up on this map, so really not going to be easy at all.
Yeah, when you factor in that they haven't won a single round on the T side yet. Yeah. Not looking great for Fluxo, but I would like to see them at least continue to make this